What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah, hooray!
Wowee, you guys, we got a movie this week.
Yeah.
That's true. Unlike most weeks.
Yeah. We put out a poll, and we listened to our fans.
Oh, look at us.
Right?
Very good.
If you look at the Twitter replies for our polls, we have I feel like we have mentally abused our audience because they just don't believe us now. That's the thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they have no idea what to expect. It is like The Matrix, you know? They have to forget everything they knew about polls. Did they say that in this movie?
About polls? Yes.
Yeah,
they
about polls.
Yeah, if you forget everything you knew about polls. They say that in The Matrix.
Did they say forget everything you knew? Is that
no?
No,
I don't
right?
think that ever happens. Yeah,
I don't think so. No,
that's good because that cliche is a cliche, and there's some cliches in here, but they're all great.
Because there are things that you have to remember, like how to walk, maybe take the subway, shoot a gun. You know, remember all that.
He knew how to shoot a gun. He had to be trained how to shoot a gun, unless we didn't see what all his training programs were. Maybe they were like how to take the subway, and then he's just he spent 10 hours on subway. He's amazing.
Well,
mastered the subway program in 20 minutes.
Start with him being like, oh, here's some basic operations ones, but we're going to skip to the fun ones. So it probably is they have several hours of here's how to parallel park. Here is how to eat using chopsticks.
Yeah.
You know, just so on and such forth.
I love it. We'll talk about it soon. But first, chit-chat stuff.
Chit-chat
guys,
stuff.
I have a question.
Make sure the podcast is as long as possible.
I got some chit-chat for you. This is a new segment called Chit-Chat. Guys, did you see a trailer came out this week for a movie? Oh boy, did it come out.
Okay.
This movie is going to take January by storm.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about, fellas?
Oh, I didn't see the trailer, but I think I know what movie you're talking about.
Oh, man. The first name of the character in the movie is not in the title, but it is implied to be Michael, because the second last name of the character is Morbius. Woo-hoo. We had a second trailer for Morbius.
Yeah, the living vampire.
Footage largely used in the first one, but there's some new stuff, and it's kind of weird. But there's some more shots of his face. Still looks pretty good.
Oh, good.
More Al Madrigal in this one. Definitely one of the things I noticed on my first watch. And a joke at the end that is confounding. Did either of you guys see what this is?
No.
Because I could see you having not seen the trailer, but getting this.
I haven't taken in any Morbius news whatsoever. So.
How did you keep your head out of the Morbius zone that is Twitter,
yeah.
You know?
Everybody's talking about Morbius, DJ. I walked into the corner store this morning and all the hip teens that were hanging out there were talking about Morbius the living vampire.
My Twitter and corner stores have a much different conversation going on today, November 3rd, the day after November 2nd.
So I put something in the chat. It should be timed to 2 minutes and 21 seconds, which is just the end of this trailer, because I want you guys to see the last bit, which is kind of insane. And we'll all watch it together, as usual. Okay. So this is the IGN Morbius official trailer 2. I usually try to find, whenever I watch a trailer, the one from the company that made the movie, but it didn't come up. It's not even in the top 3 results, so I'm not going to bother. So do you guys both have it loaded up? We're going to watch it. And
yep.
All right.
For those at home, if you do the YouTube timestamp at 141 seconds, you can also follow along.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. And this is just some, Morbius action. He's jumping around. He could kind of fly. Honestly, I think the Morbius looks pretty cool. It's a good look. But here we go.
What? Wait.
What a weird. First of all, Morbius catches a knife from a guy because everybody's robbing corner stores in this universe. And he's
Seriously?
like, "Hey, who are you?" As if who gives a shit. But he's wearing a raincoat because he's weird and he's edgy. And DJ Diggins, what does he say?
I am Venom. Just kidding.
No, DJ, I don't think we really captured the energy of it. It's more
let's.
I am Venom. Just kidding. I'm Dr. Michael Morbius.
I think so. Yes, you're more correct, Diggins. The line I believe that really like drips out of his mouth like syrup is, "It's just your friendly neighborhood Morbius," or something like that. Friendly Dr. Michael Morbius. It's so many words, way too many words. It's I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service. Way too many words.
Dr. Michael Morbius at your service.
One, 2, 3.
Yeah. Speaking of this, we have to have a conversation real quick about Muppets. Speaking of Dracula's, okay, this is something that's been killing me. I was talking to, we were doing the Nando Movies book club the other day. This came up out of nowhere. It's a Sesame Street question. Here we go. Okay. So, not all of the inhabitants of Sesame Street, but some are what is designated as monsters, which means a humanoid with fur, right? It's Elmo, it's Grover, it's Oscar the Grouch, Telly, and a bunch of other ones I don't remember the names of, right? That is, and the Cookie Monster. This is how this conversation started, is we were trying to figure out who the evil aligned characters are in Sesame Street, because they're making a movie, who will be the villain. Sure. And I think Cookie Monster is at least chaotic neutral. Because
I think chaotic neutral is good. Yeah, no, he's a being of pure id.
Yes, exactly. So the issue comes in, right? Those are monsters, but the Count is a Dracula. Like, he's a vampire. Is he a monster?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Has to be, right? Because vampires are monsters.
If we are thinking of monster as a distinct species to which Elmo and Telly and a bunch of the other ones you mentioned belong, then he is not a monster. He is a vampirized human Muppet.
Right.
But if one considers a vampire a monster, quote unquote, then yes, he is a monster.
So what happened there? Do you think it's a coincidence that he lives on Sesame Street too? Do you think he was like moving to New York, and they were like, "This is a neighborhood for monsters," and he got there and he was like, "Oh, never mind, I got this wrong." Like, why is he the only monster there?
Like, he was
a monster.
The Frankenstein's monster and werewolf and
the dark universe of New York. It took place on that street.
I don't think the Count does live on Sesame Street.
Oh, is that true? I feel like everybody lives on Sesame Street.
I think he has his own castle.
Oh.
Now I gotta Google, does the Count live on Sesame Street?
I mean, I guess you can have two places, right? Maybe he rents an apartment like the Monsterly Arms or whatever, and also has a castle.
All right, guys, I'm gonna do a deep dive investigation into whether
Grover
or not
lives on Sesame Street, but also in like a little crayon house or something. Also, what Oscar lives in a big hole, right? His trash can is like a big old TARDIS. You know? Well,
his trash can leads to Grouchland, where he's from, but he lives in the trash can. Like, he stays on Sesame Street.
Right, but if you the Grouchland where he's from, his like trash can is also a big giant bungalow. Like, it's not like just a trash can. He has like an apartment down there. And also, you go up and exit it through the trash can. So, like, it seems like every Muppet has a pocket of reality that they live in that is separate from Sesame Street, but is part of Sesame Street. So Sesame Street is like the, whatever it is, Rock of Eternity and Shazam, where all the doors open up to, like, different dimensions. Like, Elmo's got one, Oscar's got one, the Count maybe has one. What is your research told us, DJ?
So it seems like the Count lives in his own castle, which is like in the fucking woods or whatever. He also lives next to the Amazing Mumford, who I don't even know who that is. But their castles are like next to each other. So maybe this is like a row of castles outside of like Brooklyn or something.
It has to be, right? Yeah, Westchester castles.
Yeah. Also, the Amazing Mumford is a magician. I forget. I didn't even know where he was a guy, but
yeah, and he's also purple.
He is. He looks so much like the Count. It's weird. But yeah. So I think that Sesame Street is like a street somewhere, but not all of the denizens.
Hold on, guys. What? I have. In my research, I have come across some more troubling information.
Oh no, troubling!
Yeah, what do we got?
The Count's profile on Sesame Workshop's website does not use the word vampire, but does suggest that he may be a distant relative of Count Dracula. However, the book Sesame Street Unpaved describes the Count as a numerical vampire. In contrast, the 2001 Sesame Street Muppets Drawing Guide insists the Count is not a vampire.
Uh-oh.
What? That's it. But then what is he?
I don't know.
Maybe he was cured of his vampirism in between when those books were written, but he kept the teeth, I guess.
That seems
Sometimes
impossible.
Vampires get cured and stuff. Not that often, but it's happened. Also, do you think he moved in next to this magician guy thinking he was also a vampire because they dressed the same? And he's like,
hey, we look similar.
And he's like, oh my God, it's a fucking magician. Jesus Christ. Like, I don't. This first, I thought I'd lived on a street full of monsters, and now I'm living next to a magician. This is terrible.
We got a similar vibe going on. No, yeah,
it's strange.
I would like living next to a magician, right? You wouldn't? No, that's not something where
I feel like it's something that would be like really delightful at first, and then by year 5, you're like, okay, Mungo, we fucking get it. Okay, I understand that you wave your magic fucking hands or whatever, and the garbage is down the street now. Okay. The rest of us still have to take it out. You can't just keep doing this. We have a schedule.
Yeah, I feel like if I met him, I would enjoy the magic part of it. And nothing against magicians, but I feel like the magician vibe would be kind of a lot. You know what I'd hate? I'd hate having to be invited to his magic shows and turn them down. Be like, oh, I got something to do. Sorry, man. I know. I'll go to the next one, I promise, like every week. Because who's going?
Stand him up? That's so rude.
I'm not going to go to the same magic show every day. Like, he's not learning new magic, I assume. Just pulling rabbits out of his hat and stuff. But also, I don't know. Maybe it'd be cool. Maybe he is magic. We don't even know if the Count's a Dracula. Maybe this guy's like a wizard.
Yeah, who's to say?
Who is to say? Anyway, Michael Morbius. They're finally they're coming out with that movie. It's coming out, you guys.
At your service, Nando.
At our service. I think this trailer makes it look very average, but also that Venom line. So for people that haven't seen these trailers before, Michael Keaton is in them as some sort of character in prison, which would lead you to believe that it's the Vulture, but maybe not. He's never said, it's me, the Vulture. And then also, there's a picture of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And then also, apparently the font that they use for the Oscorp building is the one from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. So, nobody knows what the deal is with this movie.
I love that it's everything.
Me too.
The deal is we're shoving this garbage out in January knowing it will die and no one will ever reference it again.
I don't know. Maybe Kraven will have to hunt Morbius or something. Maybe Blade will show up. He probably won't. But what if Blade showed up?
Maybe Blade will show up and say, some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill by releasing a movie in January.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Also, do people call Venom Venom? I don't think anybody knows he's Venom. He's
Venom is like what he calls himself. So only the people who know him know he's Venom.
Maybe he knows somehow. Does he have super intelligence or something?
Here's the question.
Is that a joke?
Here's the question then. Is this going to be in the actual movie or is this a trailer joke?
I think it'll be the last scene of the movie. Just like the Venom turd in the wind bit. Because it's the same shit. He's robbing a convenience store or something. Guys are robbing a convenience store. He's just mild-mannered, whatever, and now he has control of his powers. I can almost guarantee it'll be the last scene of the movie. But the bigger question of, how many of these things are actually in the movie. I don't think they could make the movie and not have Michael Keaton in it. I think people would lose their minds. So that part, I think, is in there. But it would be funny if he's
hold
just
on now.
It's me,
people
Joe
would lose
Schmo.
People would lose their minds. Posits a universe in which anybody cares about the Morbius movie.
That's a good point. What if he was Ray Kroc from the McDonald's movie, just imprisoned or something? Oh. or whatever, the Sattler guy from that new show where he makes Oxycontin. Maybe that's what he is.
Or
Beetlejuice. He's Beetlejuice in this.
Can he be the guy in, what is it, the Protege? He's like the evil man in the Protege.
I haven't seen the Protege.
I know, but the trailers is you get the gist, right?
Oh, yeah,
maybe he's Birdman.
Yeah,
Birdman.
He kind of went off the reservation in the last episode, or the end of that movie. You never know. Maybe it's all in his head. This movie's gonna be weird. Also, I can't stress this enough. Tyrese is in it. That's pretty great. More Tyrese in this trailer than you would expect. I would recommend everyone go watch it. Also has Matt Smith in there somewhere, who is maybe not Palpatine, or who knows what that was. That was something today. I feel like we'll find more information about that out in the future. But guys, speaking of movies that certainly seem like they came out in the year 2000, we got to talk about The Matrix, which is a movie that maybe did.
99, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, did it come out in 99 or was it set in 99?
No, it came out in 99.
I mean, to be fair, it was set in 2199 or whatever,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sometime around 2199, Nando. We don't know exactly what year it is.
Incredibly pedantic.
I think Morbius is not giving himself enough credit. He's probably dead on. But
sorry, who isn't giving himself enough credit?
Not Morbius, damn it, Morpheus. Oh no.
Now I'm just imagining hello, Neo. I'm here to open your mind. It's your favorite neighborhood Morbius.
Man, if you just did The Matrix, but instead of Lawrence Fishburne, it's Jared Leto, that's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, man.
If you take the red pill, you'll see how far the rabbit hole goes. If the blue pill is your choice, nighty-night.
Just shove the blue pill. Like, no, I refuse. I won't listen to you for a second longer.
Police, agents, he's here. Come get him. He deserves your justice. Let's talk about Michael Morpheus, classic vampire man. I mean, to be fair, everybody in this movie dresses like vampires,
Well, they dress like Blade, I feel like.
Yeah, they dress like Blade vampires. I mean, in the next one, they go to a big cool
like
rave.
Them?
Oh.
I think Blade also came out in 1999. Or was it 2000?
Around there. I don't know if it was 99.
It was pre-X-Men.
Yeah. God, 99 was a banger year for movies.
Yeah.
It was the peak of human civilization, DJ.
Blade's 1998. So these guys all dressed like Blade.
Yeah. No, you got me.
Yeah. And they nailed it. I think they got it. Did any of them have to paint their eyeballs on or CGI their eyeballs? Have you heard about that? We talked about that.
How
Wesley Snipes lost his mind after Blade 3, like during the shooting of Blade 3, and wouldn't open his eyes. So they had to CGI his eyes to be open.
I do remember this. Yeah.
That's insane.
He hated the director. Patton Oswalt has talked about it because he was also in that movie.
Oh, okay.
We'll probably talk about it once Blade shows up or something.
Oh, yeah.
Once the Mahershala Ali Blade is coming out.
Yeah. There are even rumors that he's going to be in other stuff maybe before that. So, we will see our Blade. It'll be Blade time one of these days.
Maybe Blade in the Spider-Man movie Morbius. Because everyone's in the Spider-Man movie now. And
there's no limit to who could be in a Spider-Man movie.
Well, maybe that's what happens. Maybe Michael Morbius shows up and Blade just cuts his head off and looks right into the audience and says, "You're welcome, fans." And then leaves. Sorry, we didn't think this Morbius thing would go this far. But we did have to release it. Whoopsies.
We thought Jared Leto would have goodwill till the end of time.
Yeah, we thought he'd get real wrapped up in that cult he made or whatever. But he wanted to do this movie. Speaking of cults, you guys, speaking of, this movie started some, not like cults necessarily, but some,
red pilling's a thing, unfortunately.
If you listen to, news programs around the time of its release, it's the reason for every mass shooting that has ever happened after its release.
Oh,
that's right.
Wow.
And it also created a disorder, or I think it's called Matrix syndrome or something, where people think they're in the Matrix or whatever. And it seems like in the new movie, Neo is going to have that, which will only make it worse for the real people that maybe have that in the real world.
Yeah, like if Neo could be in it, any of us could be in it.
Yeah, the therapist keeps telling me I have Matrix syndrome, but that's what Jonathan Groff is telling Neo.
Neil Patrick Harris?
What about Neil Patrick Harris?
They're both in there. It seems like, I don't know. Okay. Jonathan Groff is the one that says, like, are we doing Matrix again? Or something like that, I think, at the trailer. So it's like, ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But you guys, we're talking about Matrix 1. The Matrix.
The Matrix, yeah.
El Matrix. Guys, what do we think of The Matrix? What do we do here?
Well, first, Nando, we have to do our favorite game, the IMDb B spelled like spelling bee.
Oh boy, this is going to be a weird one, isn't it? Who's in charge?
I am.
Diggins
gets to decide whether to go first or second.
I'm going to let Nando go first on this one.
Nice.
I don't no idea what I'm going to say.
All right, what's the hint, DJ? Or anything like that?
I mean, I feel like any hint I give is going to lead you astray. Go with your gut. What you said, Nando, isn't totally off when you're like, this is going to be weird, isn't it? Like, it's a Matrix summary.
Okay.
I will say this. It's one sentence, if not a long one.
Okay. A hacker learns that his reality is only a simulation and is recruited. Oh, let's actually change that. A hacker is recruited by mysterious cool guys and learns that his reality is only a simulation and he is the savior of humanity and also the world is ruled by machines. That's what I got.
Diggins?
In a future where machines have turned humans into an eternal power source, one man is the hope. One man is thought to be the hope for all of humanity. The one.
Oof. Okay. I want to play another game.
Okay.
All right. So how familiar are you guys with the Matrix poster?
I mean, like, I know a Matrix poster. I've got one in my mind's eye. I don't know.
Okay,
I assume it's the main one.
Diggins?
I can picture one. I don't know if it's a real one or one that I have fabricated in my mind based on poster trends from that time period.
There are
Robert Downey Jr.'s head is the biggest one, right? Bigger than
exactly.
Spider-Man in this poster, yeah.
There are 4 characters on this poster.
Okay.
I want you to tell me who the 4 characters are.
Okay.
Nando, you go
There's
first,
only 4 characters on the poster?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to give you my 4.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I think it's Neo. Neo's in the center. Trinity, Morpheus. And then I want to say, is his name Cypher? Is that what Paulie or Joey Pants' character is?
Joey Pants' character?
Yeah, it's Cypher, right?
Okay. And Diggins, what about you? Who do you think the 4 are?
Well, since I should say something different from Nando...
no, go with your gut. If you're like, yeah, he's right, just say that because you also think that's right.
I mean, it feels like the obvious answer is Neo, Trinity, Morpheus, and Agent Smith. The question is, do I think you would even ask that if it was those 4?
Oh, the meta game behind the game. Or I'm just like, what a beautiful poster.
I'll be honest, my thing was mostly on star power. I think Joey Pants is a star. And I don't think Agent Smith puts asses in seats like Joey Pants does. That was my...
Well, not in the first one.
Not in the first one, right? Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna hedge my bets and say Agent Smith, just for the sake of letting this actually be a tiebreaker.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, it is Joey Pants, and maybe I should have had Diggins go first. Unfortunately, Diggins, your just description was absolutely off, and Nando had one word, so he wins. Not including the poster tiebreaker. I'm going. I just wanted to see, where that would take us. But not including the poster tiebreaker, I'm going to give it to Nando. Because Nando said the word hacker.
He is a hacker. I knew it.
He is a hacker.
It's very important. It was all movies in the 90s were about hackers.
I will say,
was one.
Both of you gave away way too much. They're very close to the vest with this one. So here's what it is.
I want to take a break, take a little tangent here. Say I hate when people say close to the vest. It's close to the chest. That's the phrase.
I'm sorry. Wait, why can't it be close to the vest?
I'm not wearing a fucking vest. I have no vest to put my cards near. Everyone has a chest.
So mine is, Diggins, mine for that is we gotta flush out these details like it's supposed to be flesh. No?
I've never heard someone say flush out these details.
I say flesh.
Everyone I know, man, maybe this is a different kind of witch's curse. Everyone I know, like everyone at my job, like so many people in my family say flush. And I'm like, stop, it's flesh.
I mean, you're right, it is flesh, but I've never heard the first one.
Really? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. They really keep their cards close to the vest.
Hold on.
You son of a bitch.
You guys, it might be Vest. Vest might be the original one.
Well, it's the dumber one, and so people shouldn't say it.
It has to do with poker. People would hold their cards low, like near their vest. Like that was the point of it, and they would. I think I'm trying to figure this out.
Oh yeah, close to the vest. The original dating back to 1905. Let's go.
Yeah,
Diggins, I want a formal apology right now.
Absolutely not. Do you wear a fucking vest, DJ? Language evolves over time.
Wow.
To be fair, DJ also, I wouldn't say he has a chest necessarily. You know, close to the body maybe, but chest. So do any of us really have chests?
Oh, I have a chest. I've got a big broad chest. I got a Daniel Craig-esque chest.
So I have a Stack Exchange, English dot Stack Exchange, and close to the oh man, I may have shot myself in the foot.
No, I'm trying to find this,
close
and it's
to the chest started in like the 1800s, and then close to the vest started around like 1905, but maybe close to the chest started. Oh man, this is so confusing.
I think they're different. Like I think they are both correct. Like it doesn't seem like a mistake. It seems like the people talking about vests were talking specifically about vests
and poker cards.
Well, they should stop talking about vests.
You can't handle it anymore?
I hate it. I hate when people say it.
Man, this really got you. Oof. All right.
Anyway, read the IMDb summary.
Okay, they really hit all their details. When a beautiful stranger leads computer hacker Neo to a forbidding underworld, he discovers the shocking truth. The life he knows is the elaborate deception of an evil cyber intelligence.
Huh.
Right? It's like not wrong, but
it's the first half hour of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. That ropes you in.
Yeah. I guess like I don't know what the marketing was like here. If like it was clear that they were what the movie was originally, you know.
I actually wanted to ask you guys this. When did you first see The Matrix?
High school. I want to say 2004, 2005.
Yeah, I was on the young side, but I don't think it was when it came out. I don't remember.
Did you guys know like what it was when you watched it? Like you knew the twist?
I think
I knew that something was up with like the way that like he could do the bullet time and karate and stuff like that, and like I think I had the gist of it, but I don't think I had the specifics.
Yeah, that's fair. I knew the tropes, but I didn't know it was like a
I mean,
living in a fake world. I'm like, he's like a superhero. Or whatever.
That's what I mean. Like, did you guys know that they were in a simulation and like that was the premise?
No. I don't think so.
I did not.
Because I definitely didn't watch it until I already knew that.
Oh, interesting. Did that like? How did that shape your? Do you like remember how that shaped your initial viewing of it?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Is what was it like not to watch this and not know that was coming? Because for me, it's like that whole intro bit isn't like, oh man, what's going on here? It's like, he hasn't figured out that he lives in a simulation yet. You know?
Right.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I'm really curious what the intended experience is like.
Yeah, like I had assumed, so like best I can remember tapping back into my addled
by the way, spoilers for The Matrix, everybody. We're gonna spoil The Matrix.
Sure. So trying to go back to my addled high school brain, I feel like when I was like watching the initial part, I'm like, oh, like something's up, like a weird twisty like conspiracy, like the guy's actually controlling the blah blah blah. Like I like assumed it was that, like it was building up this like big conspiracy, like which it is, but not on the level of like simulation. I know like when I first watched and like the thing where they get him out of the pod and everything that's going on, I had like no idea what's going on. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? Like just sheer confusion. Absolute, just like my brain can't comprehend what I'm watching.
Well, it's also tough because like I feel like out of all of the memes that came out of it, the red pill blue pill thing, like you had to know there was something. Like you had to know that there was some sort of like rabbit hole to go down. Obviously, it wasn't clear what that was, but I do think I probably knew that because that was such a big part of the conversation that came after.
But like, was your guess like they live in a simulation like that? Like, I remember that part being like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did think it was weird when Neo took the red pill and Morpheus started telling them about how they had to stop the steal because the radical Democrats were going to, rob the presidency from President Trump.
And just start molesting all the children,
In the basements of the pizzerias, yes.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
And listen, there's a lot of Matrix stuff. It's such a good movie that a lot of it has meant a lot of things to a lot of different people. And it's pretty interesting. I think that's not the most interesting thing about The Matrix, but that is very interesting. How, like, it's because it's not just red pill, blue pill. There's other stuff from this movie that's also, like, been co-opted by people to mean different things.
Yeah,
humanity is a virus. Like, this came from, that came from this kind of, or at least got mainstream appeal from that. And, like, that's something people say, and don't say ironically, or not like ironically, but say it like, yeah, Mr. Smith was right. It is a virus. And then also all the trans stuff. Like, there's just a lot going on in this movie.
I feel like the interesting thing with this movie from a like cultural zeitgeist perspective is that like there's a lot of stuff that comes from the movies that's tropey and was used in like the early 2000s as like a parody, like the bullet time and the music with that
oh my god, yeah.
And like the leather jackets and glasses, and like there's the stylings of the movie, but then there's the other stuff that like still lingers with like red pilling and simulation and all the other not even themes of the movie, because like I don't know how much I would argue like how much The Matrix is like you gotta wake up because everything you've been told is like a lie. Like I don't think that it goes that far, but some people would argue that.
I feel like that's pretty explicitly a message The Matrix isn't not trying to give you.
The everything is a lie feels a bit, I mean, maybe, but it's because the message isn't like to burn down society, right? I mean, it's like take on the man and like establishment is bad, but it's not like straight anarchy, right?
I mean, I don't know. Is it to just get your trench coat, get your guns, and take just do whatever you want.
Solve the problem yourself.
Yeah. I feel like I don't think that's what The Matrix is trying to say, but it is hard to disentangle that part of the text from the rest of it and to say like people that see this movie and not like even get inspired to violence, but just, get that message of like violence is a good solution to these problems. They're not wrong to think that after watching this movie, but
I mean that is so many like movies in the action genre. I feel like that could co-opt that. Like you could say that about like Fast and the Furious. It's like this is for family. Like vehicular manslaughter is the only way to go. I think that's like the most extreme interpretation of like what the movie's trying to put out there into the world.
So I think the difference is if at one point in in Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel pulled Paul Walker and was like, by the way, you think this is a movie, but it's not. It's real life. Now go run people over with their cars. That's all that matters. Like then I feel like it's kind of on the level that I feel like it's not that it's just an action movie, because yes, there's that, but it's that it's an action movie where the central conceit of the movie is the person who lives a normal, boring life who believes that everything is kind of shitty. That's actually the Matrix, and he has to shoot the Matrix to fix it. Like that's the part that's so weird. Like, and not weird because it's cool. Because the idea of like you're the guy who has believes that the system is you're working in an office and you're not having a fulfilling life. Like that's all the movies that have ever been about like a a one kind of hero kind of thing. But it is just that it's like. If Luke Skywalker was like, also, here's a gun. This is not a real. We're not in a movie anymore. Now we're in real life. Like, it's so weird.
I think the thing too with this movie is it takes that idea, like what you're talking about, like, oh, isn't it suck like being a part of the system and like having to work for the man and like all that stuff and like wouldn't it be fun to just be a part of a counterculture? It takes that to like the most extreme degree. Like what if you were literally in a simulation and everything around you was fed to you and like is a lie? Like I think there are micro like interpretations like on a personal level how that's true. If you want to talk about some of like the trans interpretations, which like all that stuff's out there. There's like so many videos and think pieces about how the Matrix is that, and there's probably some good evidence to say that, versus like the macro, like everything around you is a lie, the earth is flat, money isn't real, and like I think those are different things.
Hold on,
I feel like
there's
the Matrix
probably some evidence that this movie has a lot of trans subtext in it. You're not ready to give that one to the Matrix?
Well, like what do you mean?
I mean, besides like the whole like your body isn't your real body, it's the body you think.
Oh yeah, like, I think it's in the movie. I'm just saying like the explainers for that stuff is all like on the internet, and I myself feel very ill-equipped to talk about things that I know nothing about. But just like my overall point for how is this movie like telling you to burn down society versus like maybe look at yourself as like a person and, you know, kind of like see like where you're at. And I feel like it's more the latter than the former.
What do you think, Diggins?
Anyway. Yeah, what do you think, Diggins?
I think it's maybe not like about those things necessarily, but I think they're definitely seeded in there as potential themes. Like it's based on real stuff, especially the trans stuff. Like the Morpheus's speech to Neo when he's right before he makes him pick between the pills. Like I know, or I have seen trans people be like, this is basically just a description of what dysphoria feels like, you know? So. Okay. Like, I think maybe the Wachowskis at the time didn't realize that, or didn't fully internalize that they were putting trans themes into this story, considering that I'm not sure exactly when they fully understood their own identity. But
well, apparently so remember the one called Switch in this movie was originally written to be outside female, inside the Matrix male, or something like that.
Yerp.
Yes.
So studio axed it because they suck.
Which, like, even if you get rid of all of the, like, you know, even if you get rid of the trans stuff, just the idea that, like, people play video games as, like, a different kind of looking character,
right?
Like a different. That's so much of a just thing that I wouldn't even I could see it as being interpreted as being trans, but I could also just see it as like, I want to look like Keanu Reeves in this video game, even though I don't look like him. So that's what my, you know, the guy I am in the Matrix looks like now that I'm out of it. Like, so I do think that it is pretty wild that they did let it do that, but they let him keep the name Switch.
Yes,
like,
this name just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's like, I guess there's switches and like technology, but that's not really
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, click every time they say that character's name. That's what the sound they make when they unplug them from the Matrix and they die.
Like, ching. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's a weird movie. I understand why it appeals to people that believe that, like, you know, I understand why it appeals to the same crew that Fight Club appeals to, let's say.
Oh, boy.
Right, but it's also better than that, but it's also like, you know.
I guess, like, because The Matrix is outwardly very cool. And, like, it is cool. It's a cool movie.
Cool as hell.
There's cool fight scenes. People wear black trench coats and have sick-ass gunfights. And, like, yeah, it's cool.
And they, like, turn around really quickly, and they all wear glasses. And they lead all their questions, and it's like, you have to go there. And Neo will say, what's there? And then whoever's talking to him will say, it's here. Or something like that. Like, there's just so much shit like that in it, and that's so cool.
Yeah, but then it like, actually is, like, a real movie that has themes and stuff going on. So, you know, it's also good.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think it's a really good point, Diggins, because I wouldn't say that Fight Club doesn't have those things, but Fight Club is literally about, like, just burning down society. And because I feel like I don't know, I think the thing with The Matrix that I think works for me better than a movie like Fight Club, which is just definitely just like anarchy getting off for anarchy's sake. It's so clear that the, like, villain of this movie are the right, it's like the AI who's in control. Like, at the end of the movie, Neo's like talking to, like, the system of the Matrix. It's like, I'm gonna get these people out, I'm gonna stop you, I'm fucking coming for you. And it's like this idea, I feel like, where there's supposed to be this hope on the other end, because it's, well, we have to get out of this thing and rebuild our own society by beating the machines. And sure, you could replace machines with society, but I feel that kind of reduces it to a more simpler level than like what the movie presents.
Yeah, I guess like I think the movie, I feel like Morpheus' speech to Neo, the second one, or whatever the one about, like where I guess it's the second time they speak, but it's the time where he's in the little, in the chair and stuff. And he's saying that it's like, we're all slaves, man. We're slaves to the man. And the man in this case is a machine, but you know what I mean. It's the man.
You know who I'm actually talking about.
And then it's like, you fill in what you think the man is, and then the movie's about that, kind of. I don't think that's what the movie wants you to think, but I do think it is very, like, it's kind of like, it is a Mad Libs of a movie where you could just decide it's about these guys, and it pretty much holds up. Just about people that are being controlled by the man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say, like, people can't interpret a movie a certain way, right? Like, obviously. But, it's I feel like this movie presents a little bit more nuance in there, which I think helps, from not just being like, yeah, it's about just lighting a fire on every patch of land you see.
I want to say real quick, that scene in the chairs where Morpheus is talking to Neo, so the first time he meets Trinity, and he's like, "You're the Trinity?"
Yeah.
And then, I thought you'd be a guy. What if he met Morpheus and he was like, "I thought you'd be white"?
Yeah. Yeah, what if every time he met somebody, wait, you're Cypher? I thought you'd be a large Asian man. Wait, you're this guy? I thought you'd be left-handed. Wait, I had all these. I just came up with all the names and made up 50 different dudes. I have drawings of all of you at home. You don't match the comic I made, any of you. It's very upsetting to me how none of you look like the thing that I made.
Do you mean to tell me Switch doesn't run around with just like a switchblade stabbing people? Oh my god, my world's been turned upside down.
Wait, you're Cypher? I thought you'd look like Joey. Oh, wait, actually, you kind of do. You look exactly like that actor from movies and stuff. I thought you'd be a slimy little greaseball. Oh, you are a slimy little greaseball. I thought you'd have the worst mustache and goatee combination ever.
Oh, don't
just awful.
I had trouble recognizing Joey Pants because he looks so different from his regular Joey Pants self.
Really?
It does.
I think this is where I was introduced to Joey Pants. This and Daredevil were like within a couple of years of each other, and this is my register for him.
I think it's the hair. I think it's because he doesn't have hair and he has the awful mustache and goatee. I'm used to a behaired Joey Pants.
Yeah.
A behaired?
What if that was his Matrix look? If he just had a full head of hair? I guess we never see him. Wait,
no, we do. We totally do.
Oh,
we
yeah,
totally
we do. Of course,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, that would be funny if it was like George Costanza with the wig, and he was just like, "What? I have hair. It's fine."
Just like perfectly coiffed hair, like an Elvis do.
Yeah. Why don't they all just look like Neo in the Matrix? That would be handy, is that they wouldn't know who to shoot at.
True. I thought you were just saying, why don't they all make themselves look like cool and hot? And I'm like, no, they do make themselves look cool and hot.
That's true, too. Well, I mean, not as cool and hot as Keanu Reeves. I mean, they're all pretty cool and hot, I guess.
So
I don't remember. Who's the first one that gets unplugged and killed?
APOC, I think.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what that one looks like. And also the one that's a little nerd who goes out like a absolute champ.
Mouse, the guy who jacks it to his own creation.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's nothing wrong with being sex positive.
I mean, listen, you got to make do. It's who knows how long they've been there and whatever. It sucks. It seems awful. There's like, yeah.
He even says the line about to deny our basic instincts. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that seems like something that would also show up in certain message boards,
I do agree with you, Nando, that this movie probably, like, you can take whatever you want from it, like, good or bad.
I think the thing with The Matrix is it came out 20 years ago, right? 20 plus. What did we decide? It came out in 99. So
99,
yeah,
22 years
ago. So I feel like the thing that's fun about The Matrix is you could see it when you're like an impressionable 16-year-old or whatever and get all the messages from it and then grow up change your views and still be like, I like The Matrix though, because now it's about this villain instead of the other villain that I used to believe in. You know, like it's just
now instead of about immigrants, it's about Wall Street bankers.
Exactly. As long as you are being oppressed by someone, The Matrix is for you. There's like 2 people on the planet. Like Mark Zuckerberg's watched The Matrix, just doesn't get it. He is like, why aren't they being nice to this handsome machine man? But everybody else is like cool with it.
Mark Zuckerberg, being a machine himself, naturally sides with the machines.
Exactly.
I mean, he's literally trying to build the Matrix. That's what his fucking metaverse is.
It's true. Except it's much lamer. I mean, I guess, I don't know if when they built the Matrix, they started with like boardroom meetings and stuff. Maybe they did. Maybe that's how a Matrix starts. It's like, whoa, we're having a boardroom. It's space. Oh, cool. I'm going to wear a sweater.
To be fair to Mark Zuckerberg, the robots in the Matrix... yeah. To be fair to everyone who holds this opinion besides Mark Zuckerberg, who we will not be fair to.
Yeah.
The robots in the Matrix are right.
And they are cool looking. His robots would be so lame. Also, the Matrix, like the robots are the worst part of this movie. So I do my eyes glaze over every time they show up.
Diggins, what do you mean the robots are right?
The robots are right. The humans treated them really badly, and they came up with a solution where everybody gets to live a decent life.
Wow.
And we all get to be productive batteries of society. You know? And everybody's doing their fair share.
Look, DJ, if you watch the Animatrix, the robots just wanted to live. Like, that's it. They were willing to fuck off to their own little city where they did their own thing and like didn't interfere with humans, and humans like bombed the city and killed all of them. And then the machines did a war. So really, we're in the wrong on this one.
Is the Animatrix canon? I'm not denying that is true. We are bad to the machines. I mean, we're bad to them now. But like, I wonder... how much of everything in the Matrix? Because there's a game where you fight an ant, and that used to be canon. I don't know if it still is.
The game is canon. The Wachowskis confirmed the game's canon.
That's why Morpheus is dead.
Yeah.
So wait, is the Animatrix canon as well?
I think so.
I bet.
Probably is.
I watched it when I was younger, but I haven't watched it since. I don't remember what happens in it. It's probably pretty dope though, because the movie's dope. Anyway, let's talk about this movie. I won, so I get to say The Matrix is cool. It's cool as hell.
Oh, damn it, you get to say that first.
They all wear sunglasses and do backflips and shit. I like how they all swivel their heads around. I like how... I think... Here's my problem with The Matrix. This is my one problem with it. I don't know if a 15-year-old now could pick this up and think it is cool. I think it is so specifically a product of its time, and that is part of the charm of it, and I love it. But I would understand if anybody was like, this is the lamest thing I've ever seen. Because it totally is. Like, it's so fucking lame, but it's so cool. And that's the dichotomy of The Matrix. It's like watching the James Bond movies where he dresses like Austin Powers in real life. Like, it's just like, that was cool at the time. And now it's not. But it was. And you just kind of go with it. Also, Joey Pants is great. Everybody's great in it. Tank is great. Mr. Smith is great. The other 2 Mr. Smiths are fine. Who else is in this movie? That's it.
There's one very important person you're forgetting, Nando, which is Mr. Keanu Reeves.
Oh, he's pretty cool.
I was thinking of Miss Carrie-Ann Moss.
Oh, she's cool. The Oracle is cool. You know what's cool about this movie? That it's everything. It's every single fucking thing. There's mixed metaphors as far as the eye could see. There's one point where someone transitions very quickly from an Alice in Wonderland metaphor to a Wizard of Oz metaphor, and you don't even see it in your head, but it's like it happens in a second, and it's just like, man, this movie it's got Jesus stuff, and it's got all the philosophy. It's great. And also, yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I think most of the effects hold up. A lot of it was practical, so it's like it's pretty cool when they were like exploding that building, is like that lobby. They really did explode a lot of it. And yeah, everybody's good, and the rest of them are not as good, but this one's pretty cool. And I agree with Joey Pants, but I get it, you know? Maybe don't kill all your friends, but I get it.
But you want to slop them up.
Slop them up, boys!
Slop them up. Oh, so bad.
He is like... So, yeah, like Tank comes in, no slop this time, and he's like, why would I slop? I'm not gonna kill everybody with a big old fucking gun from Portal. It's like, come on. Yeah, movie's cool. Diggins, what do you think of this movie?
Yeah, I think how much you love it.
This movie is fucking terrible. It's trash. No.
What?
No,
We're
it's
enemies
good.
now.
It's a great movie. The Matrix is great. The Matrix is great. I did not watch The Matrix for a very long time in my life. I watched it for the first time when I was in high school in like 2008 or something. So 9 years after it had come out. I mean, everything Nando said. It's a really cool movie. It's got, it's a little vague in its themes perhaps, but it's got I don't know, just the level, the touch of philosophy it adds to it is very interesting. I enjoy the bit of like, I enjoy how much it really considers what it means to be like, this world is fake. You don't have to follow the rules. Like, you can do stuff. I appreciate it because that's something I hate about a lot of stories that ever since The Matrix, every time there's stories about how there's a simulated world and it's like, we solved the simulated world problems by doing a big fight. But why does the big fight work? I don't know. It just does because the big fight is cool. And The Matrix takes a little more time to emphasize that certain things aren't real. I feel like I'm really botching this explanation, but I like that about it.
I love it. No, keep going. You're amazing.
Secondly, watching this movie reminds me of the complete cultural saturation of The Matrix when it came out. Yeah. Do you guys remember how impossible it was not to see Matrix things on the early internet?
Oh, dude.
I mean, every screensaver was those fucking letters. Just the green letters and stuff. That was everything. It's so ugly. But it was everywhere.
How many Matrix-related Flash animations have you seen in your life?
At least 2.
Yeah,
probably even
2.
more.
I think for me, it's got to be like somewhere north of 20.
Yeah, I mean, easily like a couple dozen, right?
I mean, we just saw the best Matrix parody of our whole lives in Space Jam 2, where Granny is the Matrix.
Oh, no.
Remember that?
Hell. You ruined the joke I was going to do later when we were talking about that scene. And I was like, hey guys, I was watching on HBO Max and there was this weird thing that happened in the opening scene where instead of Trinity, it was Speedy Gonzales and the grandma from Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I'm sorry I stepped on it, but it was terrible. Watching The Matrix reminds me how much I fucking hate Space Jam 2 when it does that. I'm right up there with the Squid Game director. What were you doing, LeBron James? Get it together.
I don't know. So that's just like, I don't know. It kind of brings me to a weird time in my life where even though I didn't actually watch The Matrix in like 2000, 2001, 2002, that kind of era, I just remember seeing so much Matrix stuff at that time that it still like becomes nostalgic for me. Which I think if you weren't around in that time period, I don't know how young our audience skews, but like, you gotta understand that The Matrix was like the thing for years. Like it was a Star Wars. It was like the level of cultural saturation of a Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like, and people, I think this also kind of got lost on people that are young. Those lucky youngs.
So lucky.
They don't know, like the 2000s when this came out, like 1999, but like the second one was 2003 and maybe 4 or something like that. The second and third one come out back to back. I don't remember.
I think so. I think the whole thing was wrapped up by 03.
I think they were like
might
a
have
year
come
apart,
out in the same year.
They may have. It was close.
It was like it was a thing. Anyway, that was also the heyday. Well, not the heyday, because there were other like kind of what's the word? Like these things come in waves. This is the heyday of the parody movie and all that shit. And Matrix was in all of them. It was everywhere. Every fucking scary movie and, you know, your South Parks and all that stuff. Whenever someone wanted a cultural thing, obviously Shrek has it, but it was everywhere.
There was an early like Chappelle Show sketch that was just the office scene from The Matrix. They just like did it again.
Oh yeah, what was the deal with that? I can't remember.
It
what was the joke that they were making fun of him?
Yeah, it was like the guys like pretending to be Morpheus is like, it's just me, Dave. Hey, you guys stay up where I can borrow? Like there was barely a punchline. Yeah. It was just like, look how silly this is.
Someone didn't get The Matrix, it seems. Yeah. We've learned even more years later.
Man, people should have realized that Dave Chappelle was making fun of trans people going all the way back to 2001. It was in his early sketch comedy. We just didn't see it. Shame.
He thought The Matrix was about a guy who tried to run away from his people at work, and then everything got worse from there. We didn't see any of the symbolism.
We should have known. We canceled him back then.
Yeah. People in the Matrix get canceled in the Matrix, get canceled in real life, you know?
Yeah,
true.
No. That's true.
That's
Can
actually
the body
what happened.
survive if the soul has been canceled?
Like, that's what happened to J.K. Rowling. You know?
That's true.
It's like she was just forcibly ejected from the Matrix. She died.
Oh, man.
Yeah, to your point, like, it was everywhere, and this is like a weird thing to say, but like, the internet was like smaller because there were only 3 places to go for like parody stuff or like flash vids and stuff like that. Like, you went to E-Bomb's World, you went to like, I don't even fucking know, like random flash site.
What was
thing.
the one?
Yeah,
it's not Zanga. What's the other one I'm thinking of that sounds like that?
Oh, God.
Kazaz, that's something, right?
Yeah.
But there's something
Zanga
else.
was like fake Facebook.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like what were
Live Journal?
No. I'm thinking
No,
of the
it was like a
ones that
Flash
were
site.
the things that you would watch Flash animations
Yeah.
on. Like, I know it's not called that, but I think it's like it's got that same jumble letters all smushed together.
Zumba. It was the original Zumba.
Yeah. And it's also hard to miss because like The Matrix is about the internet, and it's like everybody that liked the internet at the time was like, they're talking directly to me, so this matters to me. And
but
like,
didn't understand what the internet was.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I guess it's all ones and zeros. I mean, it is, I
It
guess,
is
but
ones and
not
zeros.
really.
They're not green, but I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
they are.
that's right.
Depends.
So, okay. Thanks,
DJ,
Diggins.
what did you think of The Matrix?
Oh man, I love it. I don't have anything to add on like what you guys said. Like, everything about this movie is great. It's someone talking about like my experience with The Matrix. So I actually think now that I look back on it, I might have seen it earlier than high school because I remember going to the theaters with my dad to see the third one. I think that came out in 2003. So I might have watched them all within like a month. Because my dad was like, it got to the point where he was just like, wanted to take me to all the movies he saw so we could just like, talk about all that stuff. And I just remember like being so confused early on, but then like just rewatching it like over and over again, just like growing an appreciation for it. And I really think it's like it's in my top 5 favorite movies. I love it so much. I have such a love for this movie. I think it does everything, perfectly. It's also like a crazy thing to talk about because, right, it's been talked about and parodied so much and like what it means to society. And, I think one of the things that we should probably talk about, maybe not yet, but something that I'm kind of hanging with like, what does this movie mean is like, what is the 4th movie gonna be? And like, how is it gonna just make me sad? Cause I'm kind of ready for that. And like, not in a good way. Like, I don't want to be made sad, but I'm prepared to be made sad because of like what this movie means to me. It was like a really weird thing to say. Like, I'm not going to go like red pill some shit, but I, have strong feelings about the other 2 movies and how I don't think they're great. But yeah, it's just like to a testament how a good movie this is. And I feel like it's just it's just singular movie and it works so well on so many levels, but yeah, I love this movie so goddamn much.
Who's everybody's favorite guy in it? And we can't say Joey Pants. Who else?
Fuck you, he is though. And like, wait, can I say Joey Pants but give like a really good defense of it?
You can say Joey Pants just this once.
Okay, thank you so much.
But you're on thin ice, counselor.
Yeah.
All right. I thank you for allowing it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's why Joey Pants is my favorite character. For whatever reason, and I don't know what this like says about me as like a teenager or like whatever, but I identified so well with this character. I have often spoke about how like I have no morals, like I have no moral character, like no principles, and I would be so willing to, if like Morpheus were in a room and the machines were in a room and they both made their case, and the machine's like, you're going to be a battery, you're going to live to be like 45, but you'll have like a nice, comfortable life where you get to have sloppy steaks and red wine, and it'll be great. And I would be like, okay, machines, your deal sounds way better, so I pick you. And I identify so much with like Joey Pants' Cypher, like it makes sense to me. Also, This is like a great line. In my opinion, it's the best line in the movie. So, like, Joey Pants is giving his demands to Agent Smith, and he goes, and I want to be rich, someone important, like an actor. And just like the way he says it, it's like a throwaway line, but it's like, is it like self-aware? Like, is this like a weird meta line in the Matrix? Like, talking about how important actors are, and like the way he just kind of throws it out there. It's just so good. I love it.
Pants is great in this, but he can't be your favorite because I said no. But DJ, you got one in under the wire. Diggins, who's your favorite?
You know what? I'm gonna go with our main character, Neo.
Good answer. Top answer on the board. Let's go. Good answer.
All right, I'm going to say making whoopee. A penis, a gun. I don't know. What are the funny answers in that?
Do you know that's an actual name of a hockey team?
Making whoopee?
Making whoopee?
There's a minor league ice hockey team in Macon, Georgia.
Love it.
And they are the Macon Whoopee.
Great stuff.
Incredible.
Great stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
They saw their chance and they took it. Now you got to respect that.
Oh, you got to respect it. Yeah.
Who's your favorite guy, Diggins? Is it Neo? Why is it Neo?
Neo. I'm going to start this by asking you guys a question.
Okay.
Do you remember years ago, and again, if you're a young listener, I don't know how our age demo skews, you may not know this was ever a thing, but there was a time where the ubiquitous take, the thing you would hear from everybody, was that Keanu Reeves was a bad actor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I blame his agent mostly, but also he rules in this, and also he was good in that Bill and Ted, so
he rules so hard.
Right, but I mean, people would look at him in this movie and be like, he's so wooden and bad, like, not a good actor at all. Like, him saying whoa in this movie was an early meme of like, haha,
yes,
whoa,
true.
Look at how bad of an actor this boy is. And I'm here to tell you that everyone who said that back then is wrong. Keanu Reeves is a great actor, and he's great in this movie.
He is great in this movie.
And I mean, I see why you think that, because he does have kind of like a weird delivery a lot of the time, but it's this endearing weird delivery. It's like he's this very specific person.
Yeah.
And there's something about him. There's a charm to him. There's a look to his face, a cast to his features, that it's very easy to see why, for example, Carrie-Anne Moss or Trinity would totally fall in love with him, because he's so, there's an innocence to a Keanu Reeves that I don't think many actors could replicate in this movie. There's a pureness about him, even when he's being just confused and doesn't know what's going on, or being buffeted about by the winds of fate. He's just so good. Also, he learned real kung fu in real life for this movie, and it shows. He does a good job in those action scenes, and that's a big part of why these action scenes look so good, and not because they use a lot of slow-mo, because actually, having rewatched this movie, they don't use that much slow-mo. It's just a couple big moments.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody did pretty good kung fu, especially like, what's his name? Not Agent Smith, Morpheus, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Lawrence Fishburne also killing it.
He crushed it. I'm sure the other guys did as well, but those two, very good.
I will say, Diggins, I think there's a lot of credence to that point, because I think he pulls this thing off really well of, being introduced to this world and kind of seeing the Matrix through our eyes, and like what that would be like, and that kind of confusion. But there's areas of where it's so clear that, and there's not a lot of them, but when he's like Thomas A. Anderson or whatever, that like
Mr.
he understands, like Mr. Anderson, like he understands like what he is in this world, and like what he can do. Like, so I think a perfect example, when he's being interrogated by Agent Smith prior to like having his mouth like literally closed, Mr. Anderson's like, so what do you think about this deal to get me Morpheus? And he just goes like very subtly, but with force. How about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call? And like, it's just delivered perfectly. It's like how you want that line to delivered. You understand that this character knows what's going on. He's not going to be bullied, but then everything turns on him. And I think that's the thing with this character is that because everything is always turning on him, everything's like always a surprise. But then, oh God, there's so many moments. There's the one, this like gets me every time, where they're about to rescue Morpheus and they're on top of the elevator, Neo and Trinity, and he's about to like shoot the cable off the elevator to like zip up and have the elevator crash down and blow up the lobby. And he just like whispers to himself ever so subtly to like steel himself before doing this crazy thing. There is no spoon. And it's like subtle and it's light and it's such a good touch. And it like that one line, exactly what's going like through his head, like just trying to remember like none of this is real and it's all a construct, blah, blah, blah. But it's just the way he does it is so good. And I don't think you could have put like any actor in there, like a Vin Diesel or even like a Nicolas Cage, and they would have like the same results. Like I think it takes like a very finesse actor.
Those two would
it.
both be terrific.
One of them could definitely crush it.
Neither, you fools.
Out of your mind, Vin Diesel could do it.
Out of your mind,
that same weird earnestness that comes with. Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, Vin Diesel has a weird earnestness, but he doesn't have the ability to act. He doesn't have the ability to convey a human emotion.
You monster! How dare you?
Anyway,
but you think Nicolas Cage could, Diggins?
Absolutely, Nicolas Cage can convey every human emotion at once.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nicolas Cage was at one point up for the role of Morpheus. I know a lot of different people were up for different roles. Like,
wasn't Will Smith up for Morpheus?
He wasn't just up for it; he had it, but then he wanted to do Wild Wild West, and then he dropped it.
Idiot! No.
I mean, Wild Wild West is also great. No one can deny.
No, it's not.
It's not as good as
we
The
talked about
Matrix.
this podcast about how it's not great.
It's awesome. It's so good. Let me look up the Matrix trivia, because there is, like...
Also, since you mentioned it, DJ, there is no spoon, perhaps the single line from The Matrix that was the most inescapable.
Oh my God.
Really? More than I Know Kung Fu? I feel like that was the one that I had heard
There is
more.
no spoon was everywhere, man. Oh, no. Or is it, there's a glitch in The Matrix? Because of, like, deja vu means there's a glitch in The Matrix? You don't think that's, one of those?
I feel... Oh, man... Maybe I feel like there is no spoon is the thing I remember the most clearly, like being a joke in everything.
It's also like it's crazy that line because a lot of the things in this movie they try to like convey where it's like like what does it mean to be the one and like what is destiny and like what's all this bullshit, but like the idea of it's like it's impossible to bend the spoon. But you have to realize that there is no spoon. And it's just such a simple way to convey what this movie's trying to tell you. And to your point, Diggins, where it's like, the idea, it's like, why are we doing like big fighty fights? It's like, well, at some point you have to. But then at some point you go beyond that, right? And this movie does it so effing well.
But then also... They did it by having a weird bald child, like, creepily intone it to Neo. And it totally works.
Know.
It's a great scene. But you can see why people would think it's silly, because it kind of is.
It is, yeah.
All right, also, you guys want a list of actors that were almost Neo after DJ says whatever also?
Yeah, I just like one real quick thing. It's not like a nitpick or whatever. I just think it's like a silly thing. So they say like the woman who isn't the Oracle but like her assistant or whatever, she's like, you can wait here with all of the other candidates. And I guess they're candidates to like be the one, except it seems like it takes the Oracle like 3 seconds to figure out who the one is. But that aside, I would take any of these other kids to be the one besides Neo. They all have like superpowers. Like Neo's just getting by.
Speaking of the Oracle, you notice that she never actually says he's not the one.
That is true. Well, no. She's like, not this time.
So the exchange is she tells him, you already know what I'm going to say. And he says, I'm not the one. And then she says, I'm sorry, there's something still holding you back.
Right.
And he's like, what is it? And she's like, maybe in your next life. Or maybe your next life or something.
It's like, it's not your time.
She never actually says you're not the one.
That's interesting.
And he does die at the end of the movie, so she is right.
And then comes back.
Here are my actors. We got Will Smith, obviously.
Jesus.
He turned it down. Very good. Brad Pitt was up for Neo.
That would have been bad. I wouldn't have. Nah.
It makes sense, but he did pass on it after making 7 years in Tibet and then being tired. Yeah. Leo was up for it.
I can see it.
I think that makes sense. And he has said that he like kind of missed out. Like he was like, I shouldn't have given that up.
Will Smith has also said that.
Yeah.
Will Smith has been pretty.
Well, I mean, he was like I said, he's wrong. Wild Wild West was cool. Val Kilmer, Batman's own. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
For Neo,
Gay Perry from Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
That's right. He said he turned down the role of Neo, was offered Morpheus, but also declined. Instead, he rather made a romantic film called At First Sight about a blind man falling in love. Then we have Sandra Bullock. Apparently, there was a time when they were going to make it a woman just because they wanted Sandra Bullock, because she was the hottest shit after, like, Speed. But she just didn't do it. And then Nicolas Cage. So...
No, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he declined the role citing family obligations, but he almost had it. Like, I think he was going to do it, but then he gave it up.
I promise he could have pulled it off.
He totally could have.
I know it in my bones that he couldn't have.
DJ,
why?
in the alternate timeline where Nicolas Cage was Neo in The Matrix, Donald Trump was never president.
Oh, God damn it.
I think he could have done it. I mean, he's in, like, other movies like this. Like, he's in... like Con Air. He's like kind of a normalish guy. I mean, he's like a cool guy in that, but he's
it's not about that.
He's far from normal in Con Air.
Right, but he's not like crazy Nick Cage yelling and screaming and stuff. He's like a calm guy.
You know what it is? I don't think that he could have like done the full on like kung fu thing. I really feel like Keanu Reeves is like the perfect like person to have done this role. Everything about it makes sense to me. And I haven't seen the counterfactual, so it's impossible to know. But like, would Nick Cage have actually learned kung fu? Would Will Smith have actually learned kung fu?
Doesn't Nick Cage like kind of know kung fu? Isn't that part of his deal? Him and Keanu Reeves are like the two actors who like really want to just learn to do real kung fu.
I did not know that.
I think Nick Cage does often do his own stunts.
Yeah, I mean, he did a movie. He did Face Off with like the John Woo movie. You don't fuck around. You gotta kind of know some. That's not all CGI. He was also in National Treasure. He was in The Ant Bully.
That's true.
I'm just going to read some of them. He was in Next.
We'll be
Bangkok
here all day.
Dangerous. G-Force. The Croods. The Croods 2. That's it. He was great in all of them.
Wow, that was
Willy's
faster than
Wonderland. Remember that?
Oh.
And Pig. The end. And
Pig,
Jiu-Jitsu.
famously recommended on Mostly Nitpicking.
Well, I do think I think part of what I know about Nicolas Cage is that he does stunts. He's like a stunty guy, and like he has like samurai swords and shit in his basement. Like, I don't know. I think he would have done it.
He's a poser.
Nicolas Cage, come on and beat up DJ, or you're a poser. It's one or the other, He's busy. He's got a lot of irons in the fire right now. He's doing Untitled Nicolas Cage, Amazon Studios project. Not sure what that is. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Retirement Plan, something called The Old Way, something called Butcher's Crossing, and then I'm assuming Spider-Verse 2, although that's not here on his credits. So he's got his dance card full. I got some Morpheuses for you guys. You want to hear some Morpheuses? By the way, Morpheus, pretty cool guy.
Morphei.
That's true, yeah.
Morpheus, also known as another alternate name for Flint Marko.
Michael Morpheus? What were you going to say?
I said Flint Marko, another name for Flint Marko. The joke is that Morpheus is the name of Neil Gaiman's Sandman.
That's true. Classic podcast character.
Oh, good joke. Very inside. Very good.
Wait, is it Morpheus or Orpheus is the Sandman?
Morpheus is the Sandman. Orpheus is his son.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always get that confused. They shouldn't both be named that. It's a dumb thing. Like, it's not a dumb thing that Neil Gaiman named him that. It's a dumb thing that in universe he named his son that.
Well, I mean, in universe is Greek mythology.
Yeah, they got to get it together. They can't have two. What do you do if you hear someone on the other side of the room say, Orpheus? Who are they calling? It's not important. All right, we got Lawrence Fishburne, great in this, so cool. Does all like kung fu, has those weird little glasses that clip onto his nose, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's no like what do you call it? The long part of glasses. That go over the ear. The frame?
Yeah.
Stem? Is that the word? No.
I don't know. You're
Glasses.
making me realize that I don't know what those are called.
Okay.
Because they're not called things, they're on all glasses.
They haven't.
Part of glasses. What glasses don't have those?
I feel like I've broken them off glasses, or like mine have broken, and I've definitely said like I probably just said the glasses are broken.
Yeah, your glasses broke.
But I know I've definitely put them on and been like, I'm Neo if I can balance it just right.
You
here
mean
we
Morpheus?
Go. Or Morpheus, yeah.
And yeah, I think the best part about Lawrence Fishburne being Morpheus is he's got that little gap in his front teeth that makes him really endearing.
It does.
I like that he's like I do think he is the king in this movie of swiveling your head around. He fucking rules at that. Where was I going with this? Oh, right, here are our ones. There we go.
Other ones who could have been.
You want to take a guess at some since we were so close on that last one?
All right,
some actors. These are older actors, all men in the 90s that could have turned this down. These are all people either turned it down or were offered it, and then maybe they.
Anthony Hopkins.
No, but you're on the right track. Like that's. I think he's a little bit older at that point. Then you'd want someone a little younger than him.
William Shatner.
Okay, no, do the obvious one.
There's an obvious one.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
No, I'm not talking about obvious in terms of people like Anthony Hopkins. I'm talking about obvious. Maybe they could have been Morpheus.
Samuel L. Jackson.
That's right. He was on the list. And there is a very funny interview that is part of the show Extras where that mix-up happens. But I think that also happened in real life, right? Where someone was talking to one of them, and they said that they were in The Matrix. Like someone talked to Samuel L. Jackson, said they loved him in The Matrix. You ever seen that?
Really?
Yeah, I think it's like a local news kind of like, oh, he's coming in to promote his new movie, like The Hitman's Bodyguard or one of those like kind of things.
I loved you in The Matrix.
Yeah, and they said that, and he's like, I hate you. I'm very angry. But also that is something that happened on the show Extras. All right, other guys. So now we're out of the woods on people that actually kind of would have been a similar movie. I got a couple white guys. You want to take a shot at some white guys?
Robin Williams.
No, that'd be wild. That would be fucking
Hey, let me tell you something about The Matrix. Hey, it's all around you, buddy.
Oh, but keep going. What else would he say? What else would Robin Williams say?
Hey, if you take the red pill, you're going to see how far this rabbit hole goes there, buddy. But, take the blue pill, it's 99. Woohoo!
Just incredible. Anybody, the people that did that one animatic for him where they turned his stand-up into the genie from Disney, to trick him into doing the Aladdin. If you guys want to take a shot at that, to show us
trick him into eventually causing Chris Pratt to be cast as Mario.
Oh, is that how we got there? Wow.
It didn't help.
Butterfly effect. Right?
Robin Williams opened the door to celebrity voice actors, which has slowly taken over the big budget animation industry.
And I mean, he didn't do anything to stop it. You know, there's no like on his deathbed. Like, oh, by the way, don't let Chris Pratt be in any of these movies anymore. I know Lego Movie's doing pretty well, but don't let this guy do more. He could only be action movie stars that are already kind of him. That's all he can do. Tomorrow War, that'll be a movie in 7 years. Just kidding. That's probably a script that's been in development hell. Just kind of feels like one. So we've all read it. Let him do that.
We all agreed we don't want this movie to happen, but if it's got to happen, Chris Pratt, let him go nuts.
Yeah, no one can figure out how to end it, so let Chris Pratt try. But all right, two other white guys. I'll give you a hint. These are kind of the other side of the spectrum in terms of like they are known for a slightly wilder performance.
Jim Carrey.
No, but that's a good guess.
Incredible.
It's fun. Speaking of Jim Carrey, I'm sure did we talk about it this weekend when we saw each other? That he may or may not be a certain ODOK character.
Oh.
Yeah, there's rumors that he might be MODOK in Ant-Man and also in She-Hulk apparently, which would be insane.
Please let it happen.
He's perfect for it because he already did that in Batman Forever. But
won't it conflict with his filming schedule as Dr. Robotnik?
You would think so. But they pretty much just take all Dr. Robotnik's lines and then put them onto the CGI head and change the word Sonic to Ant-Man. It's the same thing, you know? He just instead of Chaos Emeralds, it's Quantum Emeralds or something. Same
Quantum
thing.
Gemeralds.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll get the Quantum Gemeralds.
Yeah.
Stop me, Spider-Man. Ha-ha!
This is Jim Carrey now, not Robin Williams.
It's whoever you want it to be.
That's true. It could be Chris Pratt. Maybe he'll be MODOK. That'd be so funny.
I love lasagna. I hate Mondays.
I want him to take
Come
a crack
on, everybody.
at it. Yeah. Okay. Here are your two. Anybody else? Any other guesses? Actors, white actors known for doing good screams in movies.
Oh my God! Is it
And like on the older
Macaulay
side.
Culkin,
Robert De Niro,
Al Pacino,
Right,
Jack, fucking Jack? Jack
Nicholson? No.
Yes.
All right. First one, Sean Connery. You're the man now, dog. Yeah.
The Matrix is all around you.
Well, and he would have been him and Nicolas Cage. They basically could have just done The Rock again.
Did I show you guys the supercut of Sean Connery speaking Japanese in the 90s thriller Rising Sun?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't think I have seen that, no.
Okay, well, you read out who the other one is while I look for this. Is it
sensitive and faithful to the Japanese language?
Yeah,
well, I guess you'll find out in a second.
Yeah. Other one would have been interesting. I don't think it's the same vibe as Lawrence Fishburne. Gary Oldman was up for the role, apparently. I can see it, but I don't trust him implicitly.
I could see it. I could see that happening. I don't know that it's as good as
he
Lawrence
has too
Fishburne.
much menace, I think, is my problem with him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe a good Agent Smith.
Yeah, I think there's...
But Hugo Weaving, perfect, so shut your mouth, Diggins. I will find you and I will.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought it got copyright claims for a second, but no, it's still here.
It's still here?
Yeah, are you guys there? You just didn't say
God.
that.
That's not good.
You're listening. No. You're listening to the Rising Sun?
It's pretty rough. I'm excited for him, though. I think he thought he nailed it. He probably thought he was being very respectful and a good person.
I will say, women, though, it is in a movie based on a Michael Crichton book, neither of those things being particularly respectful to Japanese culture.
That's fair.
Fair.
You guys want to hear some Trinities? The Trinities are, I don't have a ton of here, but apparently Sandra Bullock was also in it for Trinity, so that one makes sense. I want to say I only have one other actor here. She's not really known for acting. She's a musician. So you can take
Rob
a guess.
Zombie.
I don't think you'll ever get it. DJ,
Alice Cooper.
Want to take one? This is Trinity.
Okay.
The lady.
Bjork.
Oh, did you just say Bjork?
Yeah, I said Bjork.
It's not Bjork. It would be a very different Trinity.
Joan Jett?
At least one reason.
Madonna.
No. Janet Jackson apparently was close to being cast as Trinity.
Wow, that's.
But then Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl and
ruined her career.
Yep.
5 years later in 1994.
Yep.
All right, I got you one Agent Smith, although I have a feeling there's probably more. But this one's a weird one. However, this actor has definitely been in something we've talked about previously, and it's
Bill Skarsgard.
Nah, it hasn't been that recently. I'm trying to think of a hint, but I don't know. It's a weird pick. You'd never guess.
Jack
Timothy
Black.
Chalamet, but as a baby?
That's right. Timothy Chalamet as a baby on Jack Black's shoulders. Jack Black holding him like Patrick is held by that big giant guy in that episode of SpongeBob. No, it's Jean Reno apparently was first actor offered the role of Agent Smith. I can't see it. It's not like Sam Jackson where I'm like, oh yeah, he's kind of like Lawrence Fishburne. They probably get the same offers a lot, but he's like a tough cop in some stuff.
Godzilla's own Jean Reno.
That's exactly right. That was what I was thinking of, the thing that we did with him recently. Imagine him complaining about not getting a French roast in The Matrix, No cup of coffee in The Matrix for you, Jean. But yeah, those are some of the actors. There's other actors that will show up in previous or in future ones, but those are the big ones. Personally, I think we got all the ones that are good.
I agree. I think they fucking nailed it.
I can see Nicolas Cage being fun. I can see Leo being fun too. I like.
That's the one I could imagine because he could bring all those things to the role.
Yeah, he's just a good actor. He probably wouldn't be able to do the kung. I don't expect great kung fu out of him.
That is a good point. That's a great point, Nando.
But he could have tried. Maybe he could have done. Maybe that would have been a different. That's another branching timeline where Leo becomes obsessed with kung fu.
He's our John Wick, and instead it's Keanu Reeves fighting bears or whatever.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Leo eventually would do Inception, which is pretty much this. You know?
Oh, yeah, it's true. So
same bullshit.
Yeah.
Same like imagine a gun, and then I turn into an action movie. So cool. Good stuff. Way to go, Leo. All roads lead to Matrix for you. Yeah, I think Morpheus is pretty cool. He's pretty cool. I like how he has all his weird clothes. He dresses like I think most of these people, if you saw him on the street, you'd be like, that's kind of a weird, like you'd be like, that guy's, he's up to something. Like, he's kind of a weirdo.
You're right.
If Morpheus, if I saw him on the street, I would be like, this man is in walking to a play he's about to be in costume. Like, nobody dresses like this.
I mean, if we saw them now walking down the street, we would say, wow, those guys really liked The Matrix.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the thing with Neo, the difference between him and Neo, and this is maybe just like a specific clothing thing, is like, and Trinity and some of the others, although I think some of the other minor characters get this too, it's like Neo wears like a black trench coat and a black shirt and black pants, and Trinity wears the same thing, although hers has a little bit more like shapes and she has kind of interesting
leathery
stuff. Well, but
got that
like
leather bit going on.
Morpheus has patterns all over the place. His jacket is full of patterns. His shoes. It's a very he's a stylish guy. Yeah, exactly. Very expensive. He had to, but I mean, he would get it because he could fight. You know.
Yeah.
He could fight everybody.
The rest of the group looks cool. You know, they're wearing cool stuff, and you look at them and you're like, that's a cool guy. Morpheus is both styling and profiling.
Mm-hmm.
Real Ric Flair. Ric Flair.
It's a big like, and it's a big like role in terms of like he has a lot of important things to say. So it probably would be weird if he has to be the most interesting looking guy as well. But he really went all out. Pretty cool. Pretty
so
cool. So
cool.
What do you think Chris Pratt would have done with this role? All of it.
Destroyed it. Would have destroyed it.
For destroyed it in a cool way. He would have been like, whoa.
No, it would not have.
I think it would have been great.
He would have been like, you want me to take a pill? Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Fucking A. I think, you know who we haven't talked about? One, Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith. I would love to talk about it as the villain.
DJ is right.
Or the hero, who knows?
Spoken of Agent Smith very much yet.
So let me throw it to you guys first. Like, what did you guys think of Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith in this movie? Besides perfect on top of perfect,
He was pretty cool. He makes weird choices, and I like them.
He commits very hard to some unusual choices. I agree, Nando. And I think they make him seem very inhuman, which is part of the idea. I think there's a reason he came to be the main antagonistic force in these movies, because he was such a memorable villainous figure in this one, even though in theory he is only one small part of a larger whole.
That's true. He was not supposed to be the villain in the second and third one, but then people liked him, so he was. I think he's the best in this one. I mean, we'll see more of him later, but I don't think he's ever quite as good because I don't know. His performance is big in a small world. Like, he's just in office buildings and stuff talking about viruses. And then later when he's flying around like Superman, it gets a little much.
Also, there's the fact that, like, in the other... I mean, I haven't seen the other movies. I've never seen Matrix 2 and 3, so when we eventually do those on this podcast, that'll be a fun journey for me, where I defend them and say they're good movies.
They're okay. I don't think they're terrible, but I think at the time, we were all right about all of our problems with them.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll hate them. I have no idea.
I think now the opinion is, like, they're not as bad as we thought they were, but they're also kind of a mess.
I feel like there's this like general consensus where it's like, okay, well, maybe 2 is okay because it's like a little more world building and blah, 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 blah. The architect scene has been like memed to death. There's a movie we talked about where they just did the architect scene in the movie. I can't remember what movie that was.
Like Scary Movie? Or like
The Tomorrow War.
No, it's like, it's one of those where they're like explaining
like Loki, right? You were saying that's what Loki does?
It was Loki.
Also a great one.
Where he does an architect scene. But then like 3 is borderline unforgivable.
Yeah,
because there's nothing there.
3 has some concepts that are fun, and you'll see it. But the worst parts of 1 are all of 3. So that's not as fun. Also, and we'll talk about this, like in kind of conjunction with Agent Smith, I think while there are some CGI elements in this movie that are a little dodgy, it's pretty good. And in the next ones, maybe they start getting really, like, ambitious. And maybe they weren't ready for it. You know, that's... Mm-hmm. So that's something... I think this movie has a pretty decent balance of that. There's some shots that I'm like, ugh, I wish we got to take another shot at that now. Because him flying through the air, it looks kind of silly. But overall, it looks pretty good. And I think it's stylish enough that it's like, that's probably not what a bullet looks like in slow motion, but that's what they chose to make it look like, and that's a choice as opposed to a limitation.
It's a big old grape.
Yeah.
What I was going to say at the start of that sentence was, I think there's a degree to which perhaps Hugo Weaving was more doing an imitation of his first performance in the other movies.
Yeah.
Than necessarily this movie where he's just, like, making a bunch of choices.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that is... And I mean, it's tough because his character is supposed to be one kind of thing. You know, like he doesn't get to... Like his character does evolve a little bit over the course of these and has a little bit more agency, but like a scene with Agent Smith... Yeah, oh, that's true. A scene with Agent Smith from the first movie should be pretty similar to a scene with Agent Smith from the third movie. Whereas Neo from the first movie and Neo from the third movie are vastly different characters, so the actor gets a little more room to like do different things. But it's even like... Even if Hugo Weaving was like, actually, I want my guy to sound like this now, I'd be like, no, that's not what your guy sounded like before, and it's the same guy, so he sounds like this now.
Also, I don't want to spoil it for Diggins, but there's a thing they do that is just absolute bullshit and made me upset.
I'm not sure you could spoil either of those movies for me, in the sense that because of the cultural ubiquity, I feel like I already know what a lot of the big scenes are.
Nope, there's no way you know what this one thing is unless you're like really deep in like Matrix hate lore.
Oh, I'm interested to see what it is.
Maybe I'll make some guesses off mic and we'll see.
Yeah, I might almost you to do it on mic.
Yeah, do it on mic. Whatever. Our audience has probably all seen it.
I will say is a thing regarding Agent Smith and something that like regarding his character that's like a big deal.
All right, what do you think it is, Diggins?
Well, I know that it becomes that he's not like an agent anymore. He's kind of like his own thing. He's not.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, he's like more because there are no like the first Matrix has a smorgasbord of various agents, and then by the like second movie, it's like they're all just Smith now. It's all him.
Well, he becomes the best one and starts chopping them all up and like doing the hand karate thing.
And he gets the ability to turn people into himself so that everybody becomes him by the end of the third one.
Me. That's from that movie, right?
It is.
Yeah, I don't like that one. Well, any other guesses at what the bad thing is? I don't even know what he's saying. I don't like know exactly what DJ's getting at here.
DJ's talking about the burly brawl, which he hates.
No, that is not good. But
it's for me. It's because it like takes Smith's character and just like absolutely ruins him. So
interesting.
I'm surprised you don't know what I'm talking about. Then.
I guess I just have it. Is it in 2 or 3?
It's really in 3.
I guess I just haven't seen 3 in a while, and I've kind of forgotten it. But
it's used as like the cliffhanger for 2.
Oh, I know what it is. Okay, yeah. That is pretty dumb.
Is it dumb that he doesn't have eyes anymore?
This will be a good surprise for you, Diggins. I'm happy that there's something that, like, you'll learn while watching these movies.
I might, like, remember that I have heard that before, but I can't think of it right now.
All right, fair enough.
Here we go. I'm willing to bet that DJ's right. I don't think Diggins has heard of this. You may have seen it, but I don't think the context of it would completely make sense. It is very stupid, and yeah, we'll get to it eventually.
It's the end of the video game where the Wachowskis show up as pixelized versions of themselves and talk about how a thematic philosophical ending doesn't make sense for a video game, so we're going to have you fight a giant Agent Smith instead.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They made 2 video games, right? There was one that was like a video game and one that was like an open world video.
Like an MMO, right? I'm pretty sure it was like an MMO. That was like canon.
Yeah. This was the big game that was just the retelling of the movies.
The one where he fights the ants. That's all I know about it. Is there's an ant fight in the karate dojo thing, and it's like pretty stupid. Let's talk about the Matrix. If you guys got the Morpheus speech, what pill are you taking?
He's so vague about it, and like if I'm all in, I'm taking the red pill. But I again think Cypher has a really good point when he's like, if he actually told us what was going on, we tell him to shove that red pill right up his ass.
I mean,
I totally get that.
He would never offer it to me in the first place because I would be a pathetic schlub and not a cool hacker man.
I mean, I feel like I would definitely take the red pill because I'd, be too curious. But I understand the point what's his name is making.
I think anyone who is curious enough to have reached that, to like have gotten to that point with Morpheus, would never take the blue pill.
Well, I almost think
agreed.
There would be a part of me that's like, is this like a fucking suicide cult? Is this pill like gonna kill me? Is this arsenic?
I'm not gonna tell you.
I know. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of it is like, well, what if I take the red pill? I'm going to trip for an hour, and then I'm going to be like, okay, this was stupid. Or I go into Magic Fantasy Land, but then I think there's a small chance that it's like, this is going to kill me because he's a nutcase.
And it's also like, it's funny because the pill is just a tracker program. So it's not like, we need you to take this pill so we can find your real body, which is in a crop harvesting human battery thing used by machines who eat humans for batteries. That's why we need you to take this pill. It's not it is symbolism, but it also serves a practical purpose. So, can you play ball here, please?
How do we feel about the human battery thing?
I mean, it's redonkulous because, you wouldn't have to grow and, feed a human as, an energy source. Whatever they're using to make humans, they could just make another energy source. It's
total nonsense.
It would only work as if, humans were populace, but then they, captured some humans to use as batteries. Maybe that.
But even then, the amount of energy it takes to keep a human being alive is more than the energy that they output. Just basic facts.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
It's very, very, very silly. But it's a cool movie. Could you guys think of a better premise to put in place of that, but still get the same idea across?
Well, I think I just want to see the Senate meeting where somebody's has a stake in the brain goo or something. And it's I've got a good idea. How about we harvest the humans for energy and we'll use my brain goo company to fund it? And then that's how it happens. It's okay, I get it. He's just trying to skim a little off the top for old Robo Mansion or whatever.
I was going to say, wait, so this is a robot? A corrupt robot?
It's the robot Senate.
Corrupt robot. Yeah. Do they not have those? I feel like they get corrupt.
They must have a robot Senate, right? They haven't just made a government now that they took over, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they'd try to make a hive mind, and then like I said, a Robo Mansion would pop up, and he'd be like, "I actually don't think it's good to use humans as batteries," and then it'd be a whole thing.
I mean, yeah, I can't think of a better.
I mean, I think the alternative. Okay, so there's two, right? The one I think is just we can't kill humans. The machines just physically can't do it, but we have to do something with them. It's hardwired into our code. So here's what we did. That would have been
good. We've been trying to kill humans this whole time, but we literally can't.
It's against the rules.
That would have been good. Yeah.
But I mean, that wouldn't make sense because then we have the little squid things running around trying to kill all humans. So then it's what are we going to have everybody shoot at?
Right.
And then it would make sense why Mr. Smith is a program and not another machine. It's he's some other thing that the machines are able to be he can do it because it doesn't really violate our little rules. But that doesn't count as us doing it.
Because we made him, because he does it in the Matrix, and whoops, we didn't know that would kill you in real life.
Right. And he has his own free will, and maybe that'll become a problem later. But he has, enough free will that we can't technically make decisions for him.
They do it like a mafia don, where they put the agents up and they're like, okay, guys, we definitely don't want you to kill the humans. Just don't kill the humans, guys. We mean it.
Wouldn't it be a shame if something happened to Neo and Trinity, That would be a real bummer. But of course, none of us would do such a thing. Robo Mansion's also from New Jersey, not West Virginia in this scenario. I don't know. What do you think, Diggins? You got a better writing?
Yeah, you got a better idea than any of us schmucks presented.
Let me think. I mean, I like Nando's idea of that's like we just can't or don't want to kill the humans, but I suppose if you want to have there be some sort of plot reason why they keep humans alive
and enslave them in a simulation.
Maybe it's like they use human brain power for computation, and so it's kind of like a reversal.
Yeah.
Where it's like now the humans serve as their computing power. So it's like people doing like their office jobs or whatever in the Matrix actually results in like through complex formulas is actually like doing calculations for the cyber intelligence to, I don't know, make a space program or whatever.
That's the robots have a big sense of irony, you know. And they're really petty robots. I can respect the shit out of that.
I mean, Morpheus even says that in the movie. Fate is not without a sense of irony, right?
Yeah, that's true. I feel like too, the whole like you'll see more of it later, Diggins, but there is more. Not obviously, but I mean, like, I'm sure
there is more of a sex scene between Trinity and Neo.
Oh my god!
Fuck yes, there is. He's so much butt.
He reaches right to her. Yeah, it's great.
That doesn't matter whose butt. I'd love to look at either of theirs.
You can't tell where one's butt ends and one's begins.
Beast with two backs, am I right, guys?
And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that it was like it's weird because in the future movies they will get really into like, this is what the Matrix was, and this is why it was made this way, and then this, and this, and this, and this, and the more you do that, the dumber it gets. But
agreed.
I think if it was just this, I'd buy. Not like I'd buy it, but I'd be like, all right, whatever. This is just what they've decided. It's batteries. I want to see them do backflips and shit. As long as they don't keep bringing it up, then it will be fine. But they keep bringing it up in the next ones. And it's dumb.
That's the problem.
Although I do like the idea in this that the machines made the fake world, but it was too good, so we kind of rebelled.
I've always wondered about that. It's like, we gave you a perfect utopia, and you fuckers just couldn't live with it. And now they do explain more of that in the future movies. But just in the context of here, I always found that as like an interesting line that they chose to keep in, because it's like this weird justification for, in the agent's mind, or at least Smith, because he's like the only agent we hear who feels, which I do want to talk about that if we could jump to that point, because I think there's like a good talking point there. But it's like he has this like weird justification for, it's like, well, we gave you paradise, you guys couldn't fucking handle that. It's like a parent who like, I'll leave you alone for a night, but then I come back and you've just egged the neighbor's house, so now I can't trust you. But it's like, why did the movie feel the need to include like that specific empathetic part of the agents? Because I think there are better empathetic parts later that they use where I'm like, oh, I almost feel bad for Smith.
Well, what do you mean where you say it's empathetic?
Like the agents, like they're just doing their job, and they gave humans a chance by giving them the perfect paradise, but we as shitty people rejected it because we're the worst.
Oh, I don't think it's empathy as much as like they were like, we wanted to satiate you. We wanted you to be docile, so we just figured we'd give you everything. We figured that would work. But you were humans, you can't take it.
You were gluttons who would not be satisfied with all the riches of heaven.
No, exactly.
It's the
makes
opposite. Us be like garbage.
No, it's the opposite. It's that people are like, something's up here. Our natural curiosity is like, this Matrix isn't quite right. But then, I want to say we get this. Does he say what the second Matrix is? Because that's the first Matrix.
He just says the second Matrix is this, or like
no, this is. So he skips the second Matrix.
I know.
The best one.
There's yes.
Oh man,
we shouldn't spoil it for Diggins though.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's more for you to learn.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the whole deal. It's like the people have too much. Like I think it's that too. We needed free will to believe that we were in control, right? So the robots could give us nice things, but if we didn't think we got them ourselves, we would think something's up. So
maybe you guys would. If I just suddenly existed in a world where I got everything I wanted, I'd be like, hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, who are these people who's like, wait a minute, I'm getting everything I want, which is for free, no consequences? What the fuck is this?
Yeah. I feel like out of all of the Matrixes, that is the superior Matrix. Although I don't know. Here's my other thing with the Matrix. I feel like I don't know. I mean, I do think it is. The fun of the Matrix isn't what is the Matrix, but the Matrix is really interested in what is the Matrix, so the less we do it, the better. But
yes,
when we do start learning more about it, I do want to see more of those Matrixes, just because I think they're very funny. Or not funny, but just like interesting. And I'm like, I'd like to see whatever the bullshit philosophy of that one is, where it's like this first one where it's like, oh, here's a guy getting lots of cake, and then he's like, well, yeah, I think I'm in a simulation. Hey, you guys, isn't it great that guys like Elon Musk think this movie is cool because of simulations? You know?
Oh my god!
Speaking of things that people definitely read out of the Matrix that did not help us as a species, the whole we're living in a simulation thing. I don't think it came from this, but I definitely don't think this helped.
So Nando says the Matrix bad for society.
I mean, oh god, that's tough. Is it a net negative for society? I don't know. I
mean, I guess how much do you feel the robots are in the right or need, like do we need to be kept in a simulation?
Oh no. I think. Wait, what are you saying, Diggins?
When I say the robots are right?
No, when you say Matrix bad for society.
Yeah.
Just that, like you were saying, like, oh, all these people who watched it and were like, simulation is cool, red pill. I think it's talking about the immigrants, whatever. Just like, has it had more of a negative impact on society because of that than positive?
That's
you
what
mean
I'm thinking.
actual society?
Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but I do think there's probably a case to be made that out of all of the works of fiction that were interpreted maybe incorrectly or interpreted in unintended ways, this is probably up there. Because even Fight Club, I think Fight Club, they got what they wanted at a Fight Club. But this, it's like everybody. But it is like part of.
So I think Fight Club is ultimately trying to say that like mindset is bad.
Right.
But I think true. Fight Club, the movie, is maybe a little too cute about it, such that it's very easy to lose that message.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, the thing about the Matrix is all of the enemies and heroes are so generic that there's no point. Like, at least with any other Joseph Campbell hero's journey, one of these, like Luke Skywalker, he has some traits. He has some personality traits, and Darth Vader has some traits, and the Emperor has some traits.
He wants to go down to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
Exactly. And I feel like Matrix, all those guys, they're all just like, I am hero. It's like a fucking tenet. It's like, I am protagonist and I am villain. And it's like, you could take that and apply it to anything. So like,
he's like the hero of seminal work of cyberpunk, Snow Crash, hero protagonist.
Sounds right. I knew about that. Is that the one? That's not the, is that something that you learned from that video recently, or is it something else?
That was something I already knew.
Oh, okay. I feel like the thing with this is it is just like this really well-made, cool, like movie that anyone can apply to any power structure. That being said, I'm sure it's better than it's not. I think this movie would have shown up eventually with the world you're in isn't the real world, man. The computers made it to trick you. But it is right up there with Truman Show in terms of movies that have a syndrome named after them and stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, how about that?
But the Truman Show one is stupid because it's the opposite.
That's true.
Like people with Truman Show syndrome think they're in a show when they're not. Truman doesn't know that he's in a show, but he is.
That's true. Unless it's like Truman Show syndrome, the movie.
Like
that's what they mean, not the character. Which
they
is dumb.
think they're that guy in the bathtub watching the show. They think they're him, the hero. I think The Matrix is cool, but also it is a movie. I think the thing about The Matrix that I think is good is the second and third ones aren't so good. So it does kind of, people were like, all right, well, never mind. I won't make this my whole identity because the last two are lame, thankfully.
These movies stand very well on their own.
They Game of Thrones'd it.
Exactly.
I don't buy this premise one bit.
Well, I mean, okay, so we do know one of the other things that, they always talk about is like the first movie was planned as one movie, and then they were like, this is a big hit, make two more. Yeah. So the first movie works very well as its own little thing. And like Diggins did, you can just have never seen the second and third one and be fine, and definitely better. I I think the first one was supposed to end with him flying around the city like Superman in the Matrix and being like, see, everybody, you could do this too. And then that was like the message. But instead they do the little typing thing where he's like, it's pretty much that, but for us, the viewer, which is cool, I guess. What else?
I mean, if you saw someone flying around New York City, what would you think?
I think it's a drone for some publicity stunt for some shit or something, you know? Be like, this is some Jake Paul video or whatever. I don't know. Something.
Oh, God.
I don't believe anything anymore. Everything's marketing. That's the world we live in.
The commercialism is ruining America.
Yeah, the machines are trying to market things to us, and that's what the Matrix is for. They're trying to get us to buy better Coca-Cola. Other characters that are cool. We said Mr. Agent Smith, he's cool. Trinity, we haven't talked about Trinity too much.
I want to give like one like quick shout out and thing about Agent Smith before we jump off him. There is a actually, Ned, so the video series, One Villainous Scene, which I believe you're like a part of, right?
Yeah.
No, Nando completely unaffiliated from that.
Absolutely. Yeah. They've taken they've hacked my channel and took it over. # Nando channel takeover.
Was that your thing? Like, did you come up with that?
I did. Well, I came up with the first one and then I like organized them. So it's not like I didn't like I came up with it, but I didn't like, tell everybody what to do. I pretty much was just like, everybody make videos about this thing. We won't put them out at this time. That's the gist of it.
Well, so I'm sorry to not give you proper credit. You are like you are the architect of the One Villainous Scene.
That's true. I'm the robots. I'm Robo Mansion of One Villainous Scene.
The
I used
architect
it
of
to
all of our
hyperinflate my
YouTube
own
video.
goo business.
What was that, Dickens?
The architect of all of our YouTube video.
Oh no!
Oh no!
He's back.
Oh, he would have been a great Agent Smith. Just kidding. I don't.
Oh, I'd love to see him do karate.
But
that would be great. What were you saying, DJ?
So there's a One Villainous Scene done by the YouTube video channel, Ben from Canada, which I love. He's incredible. And he does one on Agent Smith. And it's, I would encourage anyone to go watch it. But it's basically this idea that Smith and like Morpheus are kind of in the same game where Smith is just dying to get out of the Matrix and Morpheus is like dying to get people out of the Matrix. And how, his goals are not so different from his adversaries and just how he is a robot, but he like hates so much about like not what's arbitrary, but just what he has envisioned of just like humans are this like poisonous disease and I need to get away from them because they are basically killing me with their just like mere presence, even though I'm kind of a god in this world.
I mean, he's right.
It's very, very good.
The Earth does smell weird, especially the city, Agent Smith is totally on brand there. I was like,
you know Zion got a funk 24/7.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. There's no way that meats or that, what did they call it? Wheat paste or whatever? Wheat juice is getting digested well. Absolutely no way that ain't coming out the way it goes in. It's a disaster. What is going on with everyone's colons in the Matrix, We get a little bit of like, don't blink your eyes because you can't see because you didn't do Matrix. But I feel like they feed Neo. It's like, what does he do? What's even going on there, We'll never know.
Oh, man.
Probably bad stuff. That goo is probably disgusting.
Do you think if, because theoretically, the whole world is the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have agents out in like Montana? Would Agent Smith be less angry if he didn't have to be stationed in New York City, but like somewhere more rural?
That's a good point.
Like just like be a cow. How does that work? How do agents who are stationed in like just random towns in Ohio, like what do they do? Right? Are all of the like Zion people just like in this part, which is like New York City?
Well, I think the agents. Do the agents teleport to wherever they're supposed to be?
They can just be anywhere.
I figure they have to be where the fighting happens, which tends to be in the city, because that's where the hackers live.
Well, because these ones always just seem to be here.
Because New York City is the greatest city on earth, baby, where all the magic happens.
Town, New York. Does this movie take place in New York?
Huh?
Does this movie take place in New York?
Absolutely.
In the Matrix, New York.
The Twin Towers are like in the shot of the
oh, that's right.
Yeah. That's young people. That's how you know a movie takes place in New York or anything pre-together. You're like, oh, the Twin Towers, yeah.
If it's a movie before 2001.
Yeah. No movie has taken place in New York since 2001 for some reason. The Spider-Man trailer, that was the last movie that took place in New York.
God.
Well, that and that movie where Robert Pattinson is in 9/11 that we talked about last week. That was the last movie ever filmed in New York.
God,
oh my God.
Movie. Men in Black, they're right there.
Uh-huh.
Right
oh,
there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Men in Black, a lot like this, by the way. There's a lot of movies that are kind of this, and that's why I think Men in Black, it's like, how many movies can Will Smith make that are this? You know? Just another part of a hidden world, blah, 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 blah. You're not in the real world. You're in secret underground world with raids.
Well, let's see. They've made Men in Black 2, Men in Black 3, and Men in Black 4. So 3.
Yeah, 3.
Wait, there's a Men in Black 4?
Well, it's not Will Smith. You know,
it's Men in Black International. There's a picture of Will Smith in it. It's pretty awful.
A movie I've seen and yet cannot remember anything about.
At one point, Camille Nanjiani is like a little robot alien or something.
Yeah, a little tiny alien boy.
Oh, yeah.
Motorcycle chase. Chris Pratt and Tessa Thompson argue, even though they have the same personality.
Chris Hemsworth?
Both the same guy. Oh, yeah, Chris Hemsworth. It could have been Chris Pratt. You never know.
It absolutely could have been.
No one can remember. Liam Neeson is the bad guy, and it's a secret, and it's like, he's the only other actor in this movie. It's like those two guys and Liam Neeson. And break dancers. It's all everybody's a break dancer. Also, Rebecca Ferguson is in that, I think, as like Chris Hemsworth's like ex-girlfriend with 3 arms or something. There's an actress in there that I was like, who the fuck are? And then it was like, it's Rebecca Ferguson. It's a really bad movie. It's like I try to be nice about movies sometimes when they're fine, but that movie is just it is a slog. Where are we going with this? Oh, right, The Matrix. Okay. Kung Fu is cool, right? That was cool.
Were there any other characters we didn't talk about?
Tank is cool.
Tank, sure.
We got in our Joey Pants talk, right?
Yeah.
Did we get enough Trinity talk in? Because Carrie Ann Moss.
Trinity is great.
If I may. Delicious?
Oh, God.
What?
DJ, you made this joke, I put in quotation marks, joke, off mic, and so you had every opportunity to not say it again, and yet here we are.
You betrayer. You told me to bring it up. You literally said, and I quote, and I'm betraying a confidence here. You said, and I quote, bring it up, save it for the pod. Those are your exact words.
I was clearly being facetious.
Oh,
I like that we say Judas Iscariot. Like, it's like, what other fucking Judases do you know? You know? How many Judases do you run into that we need to start using
Judas
last names?
Priest. The Jude
true.
from Hey Jude.
That's not Judas. Get out of here.
It's short for Judas, probably. I've never looked into it.
It's Judith, right? It's a lady.
I don't know.
Judas. Is it like, have I been pronouncing it wrong? It's just supposed to be pronounced with a lisp. I think, here's the thing about Carrie Ann Moss and being delicious, and we'll get back to like normal talk. I don't completely buy her love with Neo. As a romance, I feel like that might be the weakest part of this movie, besides the part where they're running away from robots and like tentacles and shit. The part where it's like they fell in love, I'm like, I don't know, man.
She would fall in love
around each other, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I think they maybe don't have quite enough interaction to like really sell it. Because mostly after the beginning, when she kind of like leads him into the world, like they don't really interact much.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking Neo and Morpheus. If any two characters are gonna fall in love, and maybe Joey Pants. So bad. Yeah,
I don't know. There's just something about like, I really think it breaks with the end, and like I get it. It's, you know, way to do this at the last possible moment. But when like she reveals that the Oracle told me that I would fall in love with one, and like I don't know, like that whole thing. And you know what's hard is I think their relationship gets a lot better throughout the other two movies. It's like the one bright spot. So
they have sex.
And that's how you know
they have something. Things happen.
And I feel like my brain can't separate that knowledge from this movie alone. So, like, yeah, maybe in a vacuum, it's like, it's not there. But with knowledge of what will happen, I'm like, oh my God, true love, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I guess, like, I just don't see, I feel like there is a character archetype that we're going for here, right? We're going for, and speaking of movies that are also The Matrix, this is like a, you know, wild style fucking Chris Pratt Lego Man movie where, like, she is unimpressed by him, kind of, because he is just a dork. But it doesn't work in that movie either, because that movie, you know, it's Chris Pratt. But in this one, it's kind of like I don't think he has enough of a transformation in here from, I feel like his thing is not like he's not confident in himself. It's just he doesn't understand what's going on. So by the end, when he's like, let's get guns and do cool Matrix shit, I just feel like he's always been like that. It's just he didn't know how to do the gun stuff before. It's not like a full, like, he is a hero now. So
well, that's like
nice.
How about I give you the finger?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Call.
He's not like a loser or something, or he's not like, he doesn't, I guess, prove himself to her is kind of what I'm looking for in a movie like this with a romance where it's like, oh, there's something there that I didn't see. He's always been pretty much this. He just wasn't good at Matrix stuff before.
Okay, yeah, sure, that's fair.
Can I just, as long as you're having brought up robots with tentacles, I have a question.
Yeah.
In that early scene where the agents have captured Neo, and they put the tracker on him, what was their plan if he was an Audi?
You rip that shit open.
The one can never be an Audi.
Because Audis
they didn't know he was the one.
Audis are gross mutants.
Yeah, they're all agents.
Whoa,
all Audis are agents, and all ones are innies. That's the way.
You are
also
a
left-handed
monster.
people are, I don't know,
bitten
by the devil or whatever.
Left-handed people are handsome, intelligent.
Liars. Is that the word you're looking for? That's that last one.
Oh my god!
Got him. I mean, I feel like a belly button's still a belly button, right? You could still put a thing through there. You just have to open it up. I don't know. I don't understand why Trinity had to pull that thing out with the little sucker thing.
Little big gun.
Well, it was a tracker. They had to get rid of it.
Yeah, but like it's tracking like Neo. But I guess I'm saying like, so this is the Matrix, right? Like,
right.
This is taking place in the Matrix. Why do we need a fucking big giant gun?
Maybe
it's not
that's
in the real world.
Maybe that's just what it looks like to Neo's mind for her to rip out the thing.
Or that's the program, right? Because everything's a program. So the program, like the tracker program's uphill, but that program's a big old gun.
I do like that you plugged it into the cigarette lighter to power it. It doesn't have an external power source. It's pretty cool.
The aesthetic is like very interesting. I mean, it's amazing, but it's like little touches like that were specifically added. It's
yeah. I mean, there's so many things that kids from the 90s that weren't alive in the 90s wouldn't get, like your 2000s kids, like phone booths. That's a weird thing, right? That's so important in this movie. We don't have those anymore. Twin towers, phone booths. What else? Regular phones. You don't really have those that much.
Oh man, the cell phone that he gets in the mail is so cool.
It's humongous.
So
yeah.
cool.
But the way it like does the like little flip, like the unsheathing thing, so cool.
So cool. Yeah, that bit is cool.
Big Nokia product placement there.
Couldn't save them. They had a while where they were on top. I mean, honestly, if that's a Nokia phone and he dropped it off a building, it should still work.
Yeah, he probably could have gone and picked it back up, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, that movie's cool. That bit is cool. Where it's like he's running around in his office from the agents.
Also, you say couldn't save him. Nokia still exists.
I mean, like, do they though?
Do they though?
Do you know Nokia is Finnish?
I do know that.
I did not know that.
I know in a lot of other parts of the world it's pronounced Nokia, like with a soft O.
Really?
Yeah.
I always assumed Nokia was Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know why I know that, but I do know that it is. I didn't know Finnish, but I knew like somewhere in... I mean, listen, we've gone over the map of Europe many times in the last week or two.
Oh, yeah.
It's somewhere in
Finnish is my favorite country.
Yeah.
Name one country bordering Finland.
You can do this, DJ. I believe in you.
Yes, correct.
Yay, did it!
If you had gotten it wrong, I would have pointed out that we said last week that Sweden borders Finland.
Yeah,
like
even if you said one of the ones we talked about last week, I would have felt fine. Hey, another question about the Matrix, you guys. Isn't it cool when they run on the walls and shoot everybody and stuff? That bit with where they put the guns through the metal detector. That's pretty cool.
That part.
I like when the guard's just like, holy shit, like, I'm gonna die because...
The part where they inspire every mass shooter since from 1999 to today.
Oh, God.
Pretty much. I mean, like, it's tough because it is so cool, but it is just, what if we shot everyone? Like, their lives don't matter. They don't exist. Shoot away.
Yeah, Neo's like, I've got a plan, and the plan is let's go in with big guns and shoot everybody.
Yeah. That is something I think that gets smoothed out in future movies where all the bad guys are Agent Smith. So when you shoot them, you're shooting Agent Smith. But yeah, in this one, it's just randos. And some Agent
we just
Smiths
killed a
along
bunch
the way.
of dudes. It's okay. They were lab grown by the machines, so they're basically not even real people.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there is a certain element of their psyche that should be a little bit more like, we should keep these people alive. We value human life, unlike the machines. Like, let's handcuff them instead of blowing their heads off.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
No, Diggins, go ahead, and then I'll ask.
For like a split second, it feels like it's going to be like the guns are for the agents because he just punches the one cop. Like they're just going to knock the cops out. But then they just start shooting the cops. So, yeah. I don't know.
Well, what you didn't know is that open palm fist exploded that man's heart.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So here's my question. Are the lab-grown humans that the robots make, do they have souls?
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Apparently not.
Well, then it's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need permission from the families because they ain't got no souls.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone except for Tank and Dozer in this movie is a lab-grown human, so I guess the answer has to be yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I like that Tank is alive. That's pretty cool.
I like that Tank and Dozer are one of the only two people in the movie with a soul.
Oh, that too, yeah. I did think I remember when I saw it the first time, and maybe this is just kind of like an artifact of knowing that he doesn't die immediately. When Joey Pants shoots him with that fucking what's it called? Proton pack. Like, yeah. I remember being like, I think that could have killed him. But also, it does not, I'm not convinced. And then it didn't kill him. So good for him.
And you're like, you know what would have been more effective? A gun. A gun would have just, no question.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have a better shot with just hitting him over the head with a fire extinguisher or something. Like, if it's a movie,
who are those for? Are those for
the
Sentinels? Like, I don't know who those are for.
I mean, we'll see in the future, but yeah, probably the Sentinels.
Also, we know in the future they have guns, so
they have so much shit in the future. Yeah, it gets really, yeah. Imagine if he had rolled up in something from future movies, just ripped everybody to shreds. I mean, he is maybe the monologuiest of monologue villains ever.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
He wastes so much fucking time going over all the themes of the movie again before he kills anybody important. It's amazing.
Diggins, do you know of a certain actor who's coming up in these movies that, like, is just so surprising that they're in these movies?
Keanu Reeves.
No.
Keanu Reeves. It's a different guy with a mustache.
You know what I'm talking about?
Is he good at martial arts? Is it that guy?
No. He's a part of, like, the Zion Council. And it's like, how is he in this movie?
Brian
Bless.
It'll be a good surprise. It wows me every time. And this person does movies.
I know who it is, but I can't remember.
Okay. Wait, you know who it is, but you can't remember?
Like, I mean, I've seen it, so I'll see it and remember. But now I want to know.
Okay, yeah. Like, and I'll drop it because this is probably just like so annoying. But it's someone who does movies, but they do a very specific type of movie. And they're in this movie, which is not the kind of movie they're normally in. And you're like, you forget that this person is an actor.
Robin Williams.
Yep. Nailed it. So,
oh, yeah. Okay.
You got it, Nando?
I do know who it is. That is, yeah.
Another surprise for Diggins to find out. You'll be like, why is this person here?
That is a weird one.
Will I recognize them on sight?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This will not be a question. You will text me the name of this actor and be like, oh, okay.
Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody should be questioning his reality, it's the puppet. He's literally a puppet.
What if they remade The Matrix, but in The Matrix was Muppets and outside The Matrix wasn't?
Oh, please make
sweet.
that. How has that already been made? Just waiting for Disney to buy Warner Brothers or whatever.
They probably did that. The Matrix does that shit all the time. All those Sesame Street does like little, parody thingies. You're thinking of DJ. I just want to make triple check because I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
They're on the Council of Zion. It can only be one person.
Well, there's plenty of people on the Council of Zion, but you're talking about the one who's not usually an actor.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
LeBron James.
There you go.
That's it. No, Granny.
Well,
it's Granny
I wouldn't
again.
say they're not usually an actor, but they only act in like one kind of movie.
Wait, we may be thinking of different people then.
Oh my God. This is... No, we can't... I'm going to message you.
Yeah, I'll message you.
But anyway, so the other thing with the movies, like, going forward is, like, they just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about talking about nonsense. And it's not like in this movie where, oh, it's fun that they're talking about, like, philosophy and the movie themes and stuff like that. It's like, we're just going to talk about, like, political bullshit and nonsense. And it just drags the movie into just a fucking pit.
I don't know, DJ. So everything you're saying makes me think I'm going to love these movies.
We were thinking of two different people.
I didn't know that your person was in this movie.
He is.
But my person is as well, right?
I think so.
Oh, man, am I wrong?
I'm trying to find...
In a shocking, mostly nitpicking first.
Is he in the third one or the second one? Or like... Because my guy is on the council.
Oh, man. I think I'm conflating this movie with Star Trek.
Yeah, he's in Star Trek for sure. God. But it's not him. No. Then he is on the council in Star Trek.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I think you could be thinking of my guy, though, in terms of like...
No, you are right. Okay, so all right, I'm just going to come out.
Yeah, go for it. Tell us now.
Okay, so I thought that Tyler Perry was in this movie, but he's not.
I don't think he is.
He's not. He's not. I double triple checked. So there's another classic DJ faux pas. Ha 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 ha. That's so funny. However, Diggins, everything I said, despite that, is true. There is a person in this movie who, once you see them, will text us and be like, holy shit, this person's in this movie. And, like, you absolutely know who this person is.
Absolutely. They are not a movie person, though. Like, that's why I was like, what kind of movie do they do? But also, it's extra funny because apparently their name in the movie is pretty much their real name. Which that part I don't remember. Anyway, we'll move on. The end of this movie. What'd you guys think of the end of it?
I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect amount of action, and it just gets to end. And you know why it's perfect? Because the idea where Morpheus is telling Neo, Neo's like, oh, so you're telling me I could dodge bullets? And he's like, no, I'm telling you that you won't have to. And then you see Neo dodge bullets, and it's like, oh, he did it. But then you see him do the like hacking of the Matrix in real time, like, oh, that was his destiny the whole time. So
yeah, and he does the. I mean, I love that bit where he's doing the karate and not even looking and dodging the.
Oh, it's so good.
Hand and stuff. Very
so
cool.
Delicious, if I may.
I love the GIF of him like bored and confused, just blocking all of Agent Smith's kung fu.
Yeah. Also, this is a small detail that was not lost on me. So remember the bit where him and Agent Smith are fighting in the train, and Agent Smith throws him onto the train track. And he says, like, it's inevitability, it's a train. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there's a scene in another Joey Pants movie that came out in a similar time called Daredevil, where Daredevil throws a guy into a train track, and he's like, you're gonna get hit by a train. That just, I was like, oh yeah, Joey Pants back to his old stomping grounds. Yeah.
Well, Joey Pants isn't in that scene, though. Joey Pants is long dead by then.
Oh, yeah. And he's also not there when Daredevil does it either. But when Joey Pants is in a movie, you better believe someone's getting hit with the train. And someone's going to talk about it before that happens.
Does anyone get hit with the train in Bad Boys?
Probably, but I don't remember it.
I don't think so.
In any of them, though? Any of the ones where he's alive? All
there's
three?
Not a single time where, someone gets hit by a train, right?
There aren't a lot of trains in Miami.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true. Ah, damn.
Almost got him.
I love that Neo does the wrestling moves on Agent Smith and lets him get hit by the train. And then the train stops and Agent Smith just walks out of the train. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Well, then that's like... Sorry, go ahead, Diggins.
I think they do a lot of fun things with the Agent Smith can be anybody thing in that last fight.
Yeah, it's like, it's this beautiful thing of it's like, how do you defeat him? So good. So good.
What do you think the fourth one is going to be? And Diggins, without seeing the second and third one, doesn't really matter because
it's true.
It's which characters are in it.
It really looks a lot like it's going to be the first one again, but this time we know about the Matrix,
like the movie The Matrix.
Yeah.
But how long are they going to spend on like? Because like you said, Diggins, since we already know, like you're going to be itching to get to the like. Not Matrixy part of it, or the Matrixy part of it, depending on like which way you're looking at it.
I mean, well, this movie takes place in the future where artificial intelligence has been invented, and then we have beaten the artificial intelligence or whatever. Like by the end of it, who knows? But
yeah.
So maybe maybe somebody makes it again. Like 5 years later, or like 20 years later, it's just some kid's like, yeah, let's make artificial intelligence, and then the Matrix shows up again, and then re-enslaves everybody. I don't know. What if stopping someone in that universe from making AI again?
What if it's revealed that, just like that fan theory at the time, the whole thing was actually just another layer to the simulation to make the humans feel like they weren't being trapped by a simulation, but were breaking out of it and freeing themselves. But really, that was just the real simulation the whole time, keeping them docile.
Are they still
batteries? Diggins? Hold on to that thought. Might come in handy later. That's all I'll say.
Oh boy.
I really can't figure it out because the movie The Matrix is showing on screen in the trailer for the new one. The bit where he's at the police station is something Keanu Reeves appears to be watching.
What if
maybe Will Smith is in it? That'd be fun.
What if it's not Neo in the fourth Matrix? What if it's Keanu Reeves?
That'd be wild. But then Keanu Reeves would know Carrie-Anne Moss, right? Because he meets Carrie-Anne Moss, and he's like, do we know each other? And he'd be like, oh my god, Carrie-Anne Moss from The Matrix. Or maybe this is Keanu Reeves in an alternate reality where, like, Nicolas Cage did The Matrix, and and also Sandra Bullock did The Matrix. This is going to be like the Austin Powers movie that starts, and it's Tom Cruise and Kevin Spacey, oh god, and Gwyneth Paltrow. So... 2 for 3.
It's going to be a train wreck. Like, it's just not going to be good at all. Like, did the trailer do anything for you guys?
I mean, this is the problem with you guys and me. I like everything the Wachowskis make, even the bad stuff. So
Hey, what's this with you guys and me thing? I liked Speed Racer.
Yeah, but what do you think of, like, Cloud Atlas? Do you like Cloud Atlas?
Never seen it.
I think that's... Yeah, I do. I think Cloud Atlas, except for all the Chinese stuff, which is terrible, is good. I think Jupiter Ascending, which we both watched, is the worst one of all of them because it's just kind of dumb. But I don't know.
Nando, he's a dog man whose gun barks when he fires it.
He likes dogs, you know.
You can't.
Speaking of Mila Kunis, have you seen what she's up to this week?
Oh, what goes on?
Not washing her babies?
No, even worse. I wish that was all. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, surprise, surprise, are starting a TV show called Stoner Cats about cats that get high and get superpowers or something. Already not psyched, right? Animation's bad. But what do you think the twist is? How does it get worse from here?
It's also an NFT.
It is also an NFT.
No.
You buy the NFT to watch the show or something. Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
I am. Yeah, Google it. I mean, I haven't watched the show. I kind of want to see an episode now, just like see it. But there's a trailer that's like 30 seconds long, and it looks like something that's like going to give me nightmares.
I'm disgusted.
I refuse to ever purchase an NFT. If that's how I watch this show, then it's not happening.
I mean, I assume they will get right-clicked and saved like all the rest of the NFT content. I mean, you wait. Sorry, you don't want NFTs? So should I return your McRib NFT that I got you for Christmas? Everybody I know is getting McRib NFTs. The value has sky plummeted. Oops, it plummeted. All right, so never mind. I'm just going to have to throw those away. But yeah, that is a real thing.
It's cool, man. At least your barber's not trying to hawk you Bitcoin from like crypto.com or whatever.
Hey man, compared to Stoner Cats NFTs, Bitcoin is a bar of gold. Like I got my problems with Bitcoin, but the idea of Stoner Cat NFTs. I mean, it's fucking. Where did this come from? Why Mila Kunis? Oh yeah. Jupiter Ascending. Yeah, that movie's
okay.
Good.
Yeah, like wow, this connected thread is incredible.
But I think Cloud Atlas is fun, and so obviously love Speed Racer. That's pretty much all they've made. They made they produced whatchamacallit, V for Vendetta, which Agent Smith is in that too, and he sounds the same. And sometimes I'm like, that's somebody else when I hear him speak in this. But I think I think I'll like it no matter what. But that might not be everybody. It might be.
Yeah, I mean, I love the first one so much, and just like anything that takes away from that universe, like parts of 2 and 3, make me sad. So, but maybe it'll be like good enough where I'll be like, oh, okay. It is only one Wachowski. It's not the full suite.
Yeah, but like they're. You know, they talk. They're related. I'm sure they've chatted about what a fourth Matrix would look like. You know?
Yeah.
It's not a secret. I think they just said whatever one took time off. It's just like, I don't really want to do these anymore. But it's not like they split up and, Lana
they still see each other
movie.
at Christmas.
Yeah, like I feel like we're getting, and also who knows who was the Ben Affleck and who was the Matt Damon behind this movie, Like we'll see.
Yeah, that's fair.
With all the good ideas.
Also, no Lawrence Fishburne.
That's what they say.
Because he died in the online show.
Is that really why?
I'm sure that's not the real reason he's not in the movie.
I mean, it definitely seems like Black Manta's character is like a version of him or something, just because he's dressed the same. But also, I have a feeling he'll probably show up in the second one or whatever. You gotta save some of that stuff.
Maybe he is Morpheus, and it's just like, I decided to look younger.
Yeah, I watched Watchmen, saw this guy's dick, and was like, this is what I should be from now on, Nothing wrong with that. I mean, yeah, this guy, the Black Manta, whose name I always fuck up, so I try not to say it, but I don't say it that often. Names. Well, his is tricky because I can never remember. I'm gonna Google it. But anyway, he's in that episode of Black Mirror where it's like, what if you had sex with someone who was your friend in VR? Remember that? So.
No, but
really?
Probably.
What if you had sex with someone who was your friend not in VR? I don't see how that's much different.
It is, except for he turns into a lady in that one. He is like Chun-Li in it. It's a good episode. Like, it's one of the good ones. It's called Striking Vipers, I think. I think it's probably the best episode from the most recent chunk of them. But he is Yaha Abdul Mateen II, I think is his name. I can never remember if it's the second. It throws me. But anyway, he is. It's like Anthony Mackie and him are buddies, and there's like a VR game where you like put a little chip on your brain and fall asleep, and then you're in the game. And he is Yaha plays the girl character, and then they just have sex, and it's like, what's going on here with us? And are we in love? But anyway, so yeah, that's an episode of Black Mirror, very Matrixy in theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Black Manta not so much. So it's not like he only does this kind of stuff, but he does more of it than you'd expect. More than your average actor does things where the computer is actually real. Maybe he'll have sex with Anthony Mackie in this one, too.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think
He did not have sex with Anthony Mackie in Candyman, so hopefully, he picks the streak back up.
Yeah, he's like 1 for 10 so far in movies and TV shows he's been in, so his average is not great. Also, I feel like Agent Smith, I'm pretty sure, is also not in the next one, but I also feel like that's the kind of thing that might show up in like the sequel to the next one or something.
Well, I feel like Hugo Weaving's not like a big repeat guy though, so
maybe.
That one I can actually see.
Just get Ross Marquardt to do it. Get the Red Skull guy to do him again.
Mr. Anderson, I see you have stumbled into my mists again.
What is this one? I'm sorry, this one is genuinely confusing me.
This is my
This is your red skull? Oh my gosh. We all do Christoph Waltz's, right? He's pretty much just Christoph Waltz in those.
But I'm imagining him as Mr. Anderson. He wouldn't keep the fucking German accent.
He would just sound like Mr. Anderson, I would assume. He's doing an impression of Hugo Weaving. He's not doing an impression of the Red Skull. Doing an impression of an American man.
I don't know. I've never heard him before.
I guess not. So you think they would hire Ross Marquardt, the guy that did an impression of Hugo Weaving, and go, do whatever you want. Do whatever. Do your Ultron voice from What If. It doesn't matter. As long as you're having fun, Ross. You are this voice stand-in of Hugo Weaving, and your contract is insane, so we just have to let you have fun. Maybe they'll do it.
Maybe. Or they can direct him that way. Look, one kind of a Red Skull vibe for this Agent Smith. People were really latched on to Avengers. So, can you just kind of give a Red Skull vibe, please?
I'm so confused. I'm still so confused. Diggins, do you understand that accent he did?
I've completely lost the thread of this conversation.
All right, okay. Let's try it. Hello, Mr. Anderson. It is me, Agent Smith. Are we going to fight again? Yes. And the red pill, you follow how far the rabbit hole goes, but the blue pill, you never go to Wonderland, and that's it. We end right here, and no kung fu for us, Mr. Anderson.
So Diggins, you see my problem with this?
This is Christopher Lambert from Mortal Kombat playing Morpheus.
Yeah. Doing Austin Powers Gold Member or something. think if Ross Marquand was doing it, never mind. Okay, listeners, vote on whose voice you think that was with gifts.
Send a gift.
Send a
to
gift.
At Melcia and at Zippy by Day with
whatever character you think that was.
It's very simple. It's Mr. Anderson. You will come with me. I will put the bug in your belly button, and you will listen to me, Mr. Anderson. If we must fight, then we must fight.
I did. Oh man, I got no idea what he's going for.
I'm so off the reservation with this one. Are you the guy from Casino Royale who is like, we could send it to any bank you nominate? That very, very like smiley little Swedish guy who's in charge of the money. That's the only person who I can even like remotely think this sounds like.
Is he being Michael Morbius?
I was gonna say,
is that what it is? Oh, I missed that.
To Michael Morbius.
We're bringing it back to Michael Morbius.
Your friendly neighborhood.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, he's Venom. Where was I? I had another. I have one more thought.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really derailed these proceedings.
I don't know what it was though. So, I know what I was thinking. Something about Jupiter Ascending, probably. Hugo Weaving did Cloud Atlas. So I think maybe Hugo Weaving and the Wachowskis have like some sort of special relationship where I think they could ask him back. Not that he does sequels, but like he's one of those actors like, I don't do sequels except for the one that I did. So I could see it.
Except for the two trilogies I did in the early 2000s.
That was one movie. What are you talking about?
What?
I'm confused about
Lord
what
of the
DJ's
Rings.
confused.
No.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm done. That's it. It's
I get it. I see what DJ was saying is that there's one Lord of the Rings movie. Didn't he show up in The Hobbit too?
Nothing makes sense anymore. And yes, he did.
He did, but that was like he showed up for like 5 minutes total.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually only
showed up for.
I think he is only in one of them.
Well, there's the one where they go fight Sauron, and Sauron does like that weird little dubstep visualizer thing where you like zoom in on the eye, and it's a guy, and it's a guy, and it's an eye, and I hated it. And Christopher Lee's like, let me hold the circle of evil. Trust me.
He's only in one for 5 minutes, but that is the same level of effort it would have taken for him to be Red Skull in Endgame. So
fair,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Hobbit movies have artistic merit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no scene where Hawkeye and Black Widow get in a barrel and float down a river for 20 minutes while they kill all of Thanos' army. I feel
also,
like
most of the time they look like really bad CGI renders of themselves.
Yeah. I think there's I truly believe we might get him back for something, though. I think Disney could drive the dump truck full of money up to Red Skull, like, and be like, put Red Skull in something. Make him the bad guy and, like, I don't know, fucking...
Or just recast him. Who gives a shit?
I mean, you know who gives a shit. The real fans. The true fans.
Like me, Diggins.
Yeah.
I love my Red Skull. I love him in all of my movies.
Oh, you're being the German guy from Army of the Dead.
Oh, yeah. You mean from Army of Thieves. The main character.
He's in both, yeah. It's
almost midnight. All right, you guys. Hey, want to get to our classic segment?
I would love that.
You got anything to recommend, DJ?
Yeah, so it's like easily my worst recommendation ever.
Strong lead in.
I can't wait.
We're going in like full throat with this one. But I know that Halloween's over, but Halloween, like I took in some Halloween content since we last recorded. So there was a show on Peacock. So I'm already like really restricting the window because like 4 people have Peacock. I don't know if it's on the free version, like maybe you can find it on the free version, but there is a special done called Snoop and Martha's Very Tasty Halloween. And now I know what you're thinking. That sounds really dumb, and it is, but it's hilarious. So I find the fact that Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart, like the fact that they have a genuine friendship is insane. I'm like, is Martha Stewart going to be at the Super Bowl? Because Snoop Dogg's performing the Super Bowl halftime show. But they hold this like baking competition where these people like bake different things for them and they judge them. And like, I've gotten to this point where anything I watch Snoop Dogg do, I'm just like, I feel like I'm ensorcelled by, because he's just so weird and it makes no sense that he got here. But he's like, yeah, I really love this buttercream icing. Could use a little more firmness or like whatever, but it's good. And I'm like, what the just a gangster rapper. And so, I watched this because I was like looking for like Halloween stuff to watch with Michelle, and it was like silly and it's nice and like it's not Halloween anymore, but I don't know, watch it next Halloween. I mean, look, if you have Peacock, you're not watching anything else. You're not watching La Brea. You're not watching Rutherford Falls. You're not watching Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. So,
oh my God, these all seem like made up things.
I
know La Brea is real because they advertised it on football that one time, but besides that, those other two could be fake. You're probably watching The Office if you're on Peacock, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of Rutherford Falls, and it was okay, I guess.
What is that one? Great. Is that like a or like a comedy?
It's done by Mike Schur, who did like Parks and Rec and The Good Place, and it's like about this guy. It's classic guy inherits shitty town and must make town better.
Doesn't he have another show that just came out? Make sure.
Maybe.
Q-Force.
Michelle watched 2
Hacks.
episodes of Q. Is it actually Q-Force?
It's both of them, Q-Force and Hacks.
Okay.
I watched Hacks also, and Hacks is okay.
Yeah, I mean, Michelle said the same thing about Q4. She watched 2 episodes and was like, this is fine. So,
I watched all of Hacks, so I watched it. I liked it enough to finish it, but I don't know. Hacks got like a lot of heat, a lot of like critical heat for a while there. People being like, oh man, this show's so good. And I'm like, it's not bad. Like, I don't really have any major criticisms of it, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I liked everybody on it, but I didn't. I don't know. I think there's something about like shows and like about what's it like to be a movie star. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, can you make a show about a squirrel or something different?
You know what I think is my problem with Hacks? The main stand-up lady who's supposed to be like so funny, I don't think her stand-up's that funny.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's true of all like. I don't think I've ever seen stand-up in a movie or television show and been like, this is funny. This is as good as watching regular stand-up. It's always weird. And she is a funny comedian in real life. But yeah, it's a tough one. So anyway, DJ, you're recommending Hacks?
Yeah, that's not our rec of Hacks.
Listen. Check out Snoop and Martha's Tasty Halloween. It's weird. I don't even know if it's still on Peacock because I like... The way they organize stuff is like so weird. It's like it's there for the seasonal time and then it's gone. Peacock is the worst fucking app. Anyway, check it out. It's fun. Wait till next Halloween. And I'll be back next week with hopefully a better rec. Sorry, everybody.
All right.
I have a wedding coming up.
Diggins, you got anything to recommend?
I do, yes. I've been reading a book for several weeks now, which I have just about finished now. And so I feel pretty confident wrecking it now that I've read 90% of it. Unless that ending really crashes and burns, I guess. But, the book is a little thing you may have heard of called War and Peace.
Oh.
By Leo Tolstoy.
The War and Peace. By the Leo Tolstoy.
Like the one from Sky High, War and Peace?
Yep, like him. The famous Russian novel. I've specifically been reading I think it's 2009 translation by Anthony Majors, if you want a more specific recommendation. The Constance Garnett translation is the typical one that you would find for free available. I paid $10 for this one instead because it's a little more modern in its telling. Makes the weird decision to make the random soldiers Cockney, which I don't know if that was a great idea, but overall, great translation. Anyway, it's this sprawling novel about about a group of Russian nobles during the early 19th century, from about 1805 to 1812 or so. And just the living their lives in the midst of the Napoleonic Wars, and quest for meaning and in life and love and all of the things you expect a 19th century Russian novel to be about. If you've ever read any of those, I've read several and I like them quite a bit. But yeah, it's just a really good one. The characters are very well realized, and Tolstoy just has this very, very lyrical way with words. I mean, obviously I don't know the original Russian, but at least the way it gets translated is he has a very interesting way of speaking that comes off quite well in writing. To the point where there's an entire musical you may have heard of based on a part of War and Peace where like 90% of the lyrics and dialogue are taken straight from the Constance Garnett translation of War and Peace, because it just works in that setting. It's called Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812.
Oh, sure. I've heard of that musical.
It's based on a pivotal event about halfway through the book.
Huh, did not realize that.
Mm-hmm. Natasha and Pierre being main characters of the novel. Pierre, perhaps the most main character, maybe. Him and Andre. But I'm really enjoying it. It's a big commitment. It's very long. All the jokes you've heard about it before. Yes, it's very, very long. And perhaps a bit repetitive, because this is the time period where people were paid by the word. But I think still well worth reading. So, if you have any interest in classic literature, War and Peace.
Nice. I'm going to recommend something that I've talked about on Twitter a little bit, but I have been playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game, Avengers of Space, as far as I'm concerned, and it's really, 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 really good. Like, it is A+, best Marvel game, like, so damn good. And I finished it last night because I want to make a video about it, because I think the way they did one of the villains is very clever, and specifically very different, like not completely different from how they are usually handled in the comics, but different enough that I'm like, that's better for this specific reason. I think is like such a good choice. And I've been rereading the old comics, the ones that the comic is based on, even though the comic is kind of a bunch of things. But the Guardians were relaunched in 2008 by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning after the Annihilation events as kind of like the Star-Lord and Friends team. And it seems like they take a lot from that in the game. So I've been rereading that series, which is also very good. It's like 25 issues. It's pretty easy to find. It's all on the Marvel Unlimited app. But and I've been reading other Guardian stuff too. Donny Cates did a run not too long ago that was also very good. But the game is it's so funny. It's so well written. It's really good looking. The combat is fun. It's not incredibly long. It's very linear. There's that stuff where it's like, this character doesn't like you, so that'll change. Like, it's got that, like, progression stuff, or decision stuff, but it's not a huge difference. Like, it doesn't, like, it changes things, and it tells you when things changed, and like, it would have been like, oh, it would have been better if you did this way. But so I'm not saying, so I guess what I'm getting at is, like, I do think I've experienced the game, because it's not like, oh, well, if you did it this way, then this villain would have died and the whole end wouldn't have happened. So I can pretty confidently say it's great. The way they did all of the Guardians is, like, the core 5 is great. Mantis is in it. Mantis is everyone's favorite character. There's another character that shows up around chapter 10, maybe, because there's like 16 chapters. So chapter 10, this one shows up. Great look for this character, one I haven't seen in exactly this way, but also the quirk that they invented for this character that makes them specific and, like, different from other characters is very clever, and I think it's fun. So, yeah, I think that game is great. I think everybody would like it. I played it on PC. I'm sure it's just as good on all consoles. So, yeah, I'll recommend the hell out of that. I think what I came up with in my head is, like, I don't care about Spider-Man as much as most people do. Like, a lot of comic fans just love Spider-Man. And I'm like, it's fine. So the Spider-Man game isn't, like, the most important thing, isn't, like, the pinnacle of games. So I think this and Spider-Man are right up there for me. I understand some people are just like, I love Spider-Man, it's my favorite, so that game's always going to be better. But I think just objectively, it's a very, very good game, just as good. Yeah, so very, very fun. What else? Anybody get anything to plug?
I got a couple things, so do you want me to go last?
And I'll go first.
Oh, God.
I don't want you to forget them.
All right, so Roses and Rejections. We all know, check that out. Bachelorette, this season sucks. Oh, man, crazy. Okay, so got that out of the way. Check us out. This weekend, so depending on when you're listening to this, maybe like Thursday or Friday, depending. Probably Friday. Maybe Saturday. Who knows? We're doing Extra Life. Again, we're doing it again, folks. It's going to be Saturday, November 6th, starting at 10 a.m., going the full 25 hours like we do every year, that I've, like, plugged this for you guys. You guys have always been really supportive, so I love if you can come and hang out again. So for those who don't know, it is a fundraiser where we do, like a bunch of friends and I think Diggins is going to show up. Nando's been involved in the past. Maybe Nando will pop in virtually. Who knows?
That's probably what will happen. Don't expect me in person. I'll say that. Got a lot of weekends happening and stuff.
A lot of weekends, a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
And so basically, we for 25 hours, we play different video games and tabletop board games to raise money for the Children's Specialized Hospital. The one we raised for is located in Mountainside, New Jersey. It's a really good cause that helps kids with like different illnesses, sicknesses, developmental diseases, kind of the whole spectrum, like childhood cancer, physical disabilities, pretty much the whole gambit. It's a really, really good cause. They're really, really good people. The kids are great. We usually like try to raise somewhere in like the $1,500, $2,000 range. Going for like a crazy goal of like $2,500 this year. I'd really like to hit it. I put some like crazy incentives on my board for like big one-time donations, and if I hit certain milestones. So I'm hoping like people get like really involved. We'll send everything out on social media about like donating and watching the day of. Just like if the only thing you remember is twitch.tv/zippybyday. That's my handle. On Saturday, November 6th, starting at 10 a.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I love doing it. Staying up for that long like breaks your brain, but it's just always good doing it like with people. And yeah, it's just like a really fun time. I don't know. Do you guys want to like add anything? Because you guys have both like been involved before.
I promise to be the sorest both winner and loser in any game I play.
I love it. And everyone watch for those reasons.
Yeah, it's cool. Everyone should do it. Like I said, I won't be there in person, but I'll play games and then like over the computer.
Yeah, it'll be great. So, yeah, would love if everyone could like join for watching and especially donating. Like I said, we'll send out like all the information on how to donate and stuff like that. Look at my Twitter. Check the Mostly Nitpicking Twitter. And yeah, I would really appreciate your guys' support. So yeah, that's all I got for plugs.
Diggins, you got anything to plug?
I mean, besides DJ's Extra Life stream that I will probably be on for an extended period of time, I have my newsletter, alittleperspective.substack.com, and I stream at twitch.tv/thisisanodname. We still got a little bit more Deltarune to finish up, so I'll be back on that probably sometime in the next week or two, hopefully to finish it. But yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. In the next week, so I got video coming out probably about this Guardians game because I do really like it and I want to get something out before Eternals, which is coming out soon. I'm assuming I'll put out a video about that, but I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see. So Eternals is, I'm also going to be on another podcast and another YouTube channel show thing, but I haven't recorded them yet, so I don't want to like say what they are, just talking about Eternals in case like, false story or something. But I really am going to have to figure out some thoughts about that movie I haven't seen, but I have seen I've read some Eternals comics, so I feel like I'll at least be able to be like, this guy's usually taller. So we got videos.
That'll be the whole video. Just Nando saying that in that voice.
I'm going to give everybody's heights. This one's 5'7". And that's my impression of Red Skull. And so I got that videos. What else was I say? Oh, okay. It's finally happening. My Actually episode is this week, Friday, on the Dropout
where
Network
you became
thing.
Close personal friends with Matthew Mercer.
That's exactly right.
Boom.
And who knows how I do. Maybe I'm great. Maybe I'm terrible. Maybe I do a respectable second. We'll see. But you can watch that there. And also just watch all of their stuff because it's good. They just came back with a new season of Game Changers. First episode was very funny. Some people like Dimension 20. I like it. I enjoy it. But there's so much of it. It's hard. It's kind of hard to watch. Not like hard to watch, but there's just like so much. But the other thing that they have that I think is funny, that when everybody subscribes to Dropout this week so they can watch my thing, and specifically watch it first after you subscribe so they know, is they have a show called Breaking News, which is just like them reading news off a teleprompter and trying not to laugh, and it's very funny. We watched it last weekend, 2 weekends ago, or whatever it was, and everyone liked it. So there's lots of great stuff on that app. recently.
So how do we let them know that like we signed up because of you for like Dropout?
I don't know. I don't have like any like code, so it's just like sign up specifically on Friday. Watch my episode. I don't know. And then I guess like tweet at them like I watched it for this reason and I really wish he was on every episode of this show. But now they do them in person, so I'd have to go to LA, which like I'm sure I could do. But it was very convenient that it was taped like remotely, so I was able to do that. But yeah, it's a fun episode in general, and also who knows, maybe I'm great on, maybe I'm terrible. I haven't seen it yet. I remember doing it, but that was years ago pretty much. It was like in March or something. Who knows? We were all different people then. I just got in this chair for the first time. So yeah, there's that. That's all I got though. What are we doing next week, you guys?
Eternals.
Kingo.
Wait. No.
Drago or Druig.
We're not doing Eternals next week because Eternals doesn't come out till next week.
Wait.
No, it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It does?
Yes.
Oh man, then we're doing Eternals.
Yeah, name your favorite Eternal. Me and Diggins just did ours. Who's your favorite one?
The fireworks one. I like fireworks one.
Which one's that?
I don't know. Doesn't one of them make fireworks? I don't know, man. I know nothing about the
Loki.
Eternals.
Loki does fireworks.
I fucking love Loki.
He's your favorite Eternal. I mean, he's pretty much Eternal.
Big deal.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't really know. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if it's any good or how good it is. And also in the comics, it seems like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Exciting stuff.
They could do lots of different things. So we'll talk about that next week. Everybody should watch it. I mean, not everybody should watch it. You watch it if you want. But listen to our podcast about it. And I would say let us know how you feel, but also that'll probably swing my opinion. So let us know how you feel, but only on like Saturday or something. Yeah.
Cool.
Until next week, I am at Nando Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.